Well, we're 9 days away.
9 more days.
9 days away from giving away one of these bad boys.
I've never been so excited to
awesome.
give something away.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm jacked up about it, man. Yeah. Dual Purpose Pro, running it again this week. Getting close to the end of the giveaway, and I'm excited. We're going to run a neutral spirit this week.
Yeah, we got our bucket, what is that, 6 gallons-ish right there of Feints. We're going to clean them up. This also includes the catastrophe from last week.
It's all in there. I forgot about that.
We're going to clean that up.
I deleted that from my mind. Haven't thought about it since right now.
Right. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be running tonight. We're going to make some neutral spirits out of it. We are going to be running this still with all of its components in its full glory to see how high proof we can make and get some neutral spirit.
Got any guesses?
Give
me the high jar. Give me the high jar.
192. 192 is the top.
Give me 193. Give me 193.
Okay.
Let's see.
Right. Also, I want to give another shout out to Mile Hi for letting us do this. They are the ones giving this still away. We're doing it together, but what a bunch of cool cats over there, because
just good people.
And they've been around forever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been in the moonshining world for a while, you've heard their name already.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about the versatility. Here's all the parts for this still, the way we're going to run it tonight. And here's another cool part about this still, right? We talk about the versatility. It even has more versatility, because let's say you got this 8-gallon.
Whoa. More versatility?
Right.
How could that be?
No, for real. Because you've got this 8-gallon. Let's say they also have a 16-gallon.
Oh, yeah.
A 26-gallon.
Okay.
A 53 or 56-gallon.
Jeez.
And all you have to do is upgrade the pot, because that opening is the same opening.
Oh, so you mean like the column and everything, the cap will fit on all the other corresponding bigger pots?
All the other pots.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's pretty slick too. Just makes upgrading so much easier.
Well, it would be cool to pretty much have one complete system. You change out the pot on it, and then you're running, big mashes, or you're running a test mash or a brandy or something.
Yeah.
Or
cool. If you're doing a double distillation, you can run the 26-gallon.
Oh,
do a stripping
strip all the
and then it all fits in the 8-gallon.
Damn, I never thought about it that way. That is pretty cool.
So that's what we're doing tonight, and we're going to drop a link down in the chat tonight for Mile Hi, and you should just go over there, check them out.
I'm surprised by some of the stuff they've got on their website. Like, it's not just stills over there. They got some cool stuff.
They've got a ton of crap. They've got something over there you need. Let's go show them some love. Go over there and find something. Ton of crap. Yeah. I mean, you need some yeast, some turbo, some they've kind of got their own brand of turbo.
They're knowledgeable folks too. I mean, so outside of them just having that distillery and kind of being in line with the moonshining community, they're very knowledgeable.
Right.
You can tell by talking to Boo and what's that other cat's name over there?
Noah. Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
So that's what we're doing tonight.
We got a rack of Pyment too.
We are going to rack a Pyment.
We're going to rack a Pyment. What else we got going on? Just a lot of tomfoolery, just general shenanigans, just a good time.
Yeah.
Probably going to be drinking some of our favorite beers, and then also, if we didn't mention it already, we have proof down what you're about to watch me pour in here. We proofed our Fates down to 38. Probably 38, something like that. I got a little under 40, and
so if you want to go ahead and start pouring that in, we are going to be with you in the live shortly. Can't wait to see you. Let's have some fun.
Meet your maker, Sean. Good evening, race fans. How are you this fine Thursday afternoon? I'm Zach. That's Cyrus. That's a moonshine still, running a high-proof neutral spirit, we hope. I am excited to be back with you. Cyrus was telling me right before we got started that he wasn't too pumped about it, but that's okay.
So many places I'd rather be.
Why do you dislike our fans?
I don't know.
No, just kidding. We're both super excited to be here as normal, and the gifting has already begun. Scott Bryant with the 5 gifted.
Jumps in early. Takes the lead early.
Love that.
Hell yeah.
Making sure he gets those entries in there. They stop working at some point.
Yeah. Scott got an entry to win the still. Hell yeah.
T-Jax, 2 Max, TLD Outdoors, Thomas Eristo.
Nice.
I think that was the correct pronunciation of that.
Boom.
Eristo. Boom, got her. Well, we're excited to be back with you. We got the full Mile Hi Dual Purpose Pro setup with the deflagmator up above the sight glass there. The sight glass kind of blending in with the rest of the column because, as you noticed, we got it packed with copper. Whole column, just solid, full up copper mesh. And we tried to make some predictions early on before the run started of where we'll end up. So I went 192. Prices righted him at 193, so we'll see. I don't think, what's the highest proof neutral spirit you've ever produced?
About a 193. And I'm not sure that it wasn't because of the temperature correction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, how's everybody doing this week? We've got all the same usual suspects and a few new race fans in the chat. And if you think that we don't pay attention to the chat before the live gets going, we do. Notice that Garbage Stone Daddy calls into Bob and Tom.
He's just a Bob and Tom fan, calls in.
That's awesome. I like that. I used to really love calling into a sports radio show and just messing around, having fun. So I can sympathize with that. Papa Long Ranch. I'll be 53 on Memorial Day. Oh, sorry. Take 2. Papa Long Roach. I'll be 53 on Memorial Day. Well, happy birthday, brother. I'm not far behind you.
Trickster's asking, how can I renew my gifted membership before it lapses in 2 days? You should receive a notification from YouTube that will say, hey, do you want to renew this? So, and then if you don't, you probably just got to go to the channel and rejoin. Could be what happens. I'm not 100% clear on how that works. Mark Dougherty, good to see you.
Got DRC over there in the TikTok chat. Shout out to that guy. What a legend. What is Joe having a birthday too? Happy 21st, Joe.
This week. Backwoods jumping in over there on TikTok.
What's up, brother?
So
Hagar with the 5 gifted.
Nice. There's another entry into the drawing for the still. So those of you that may not be aware, we are giving one of these beautiful stills away at the end of the month. We're actually giving it away in the first live stream in June, but you can enter all month. You can do that by any purchase on the Still in the Clear website gets you an entry. Any purchase of a recipe kit or a grain kit, that's a double purchase. And then, of course, gifting 5 memberships in the live is also an entry into the giveaway.
How can we get Mile Hi discounts? Mark, I don't know. So what we can do is drop a link in the chat that the Adam has over there that'll get you over to their website. Now, what I'd encourage you to do is to click on that link. It'll take you over to their website, and you can look through all of the stuff that they have. And from time to time, they run sales. They do promotions on their own. I'm sure discount codes and things of that nature, but you just have to pop over there and see if they're running anything like that. But it does bring up an interesting point.
Yeah, they didn't assign any discounts to us for this promotion, so we don't have any to pass along.
The Adam diligently on top of the chat there, got that link in there for you. I went from, hold on, I'm going to read that before Joe, I'm still holding on to my pineapple brandy. The fruit cap is getting smaller by the day. It went from 4 inches thick to 1 inch now. Yeah, I've observed a similar thing. Over the course of the day, I noticed when we came in this morning, I had a mash, an all grain mash, that the cap was pretty thick on it, and then I've just watched it. I mean, it's probably by the time we get out of here, it's going to be all the way gone, I would assume. But yeah. I got to find when my membership expires. Gordon's, I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know how to find that information either.
Ray said, tell them Zach sent you and they'll double the price. Yeah.
Give you a 1 for the price of 2 deal.
And Jason says, my new column in Linarm came out awesome. Now just need to make my thumper. Hell yeah, brother.
That's awesome.
Happy for you, Bubba.
We're also going to be racking off the mead that we made last week, the Pyment.
Oh, yeah.
Put it into a secondary ferment. Put it in glass.
Excited about that. Man, Pyments are hard to beat.
Yeah, I love them.
Almost 25 days of fermentation. Nothing wrong with that, Joe.
Sometimes they take a while.
Mark Doherty says, the help from this channel has been invaluable in my distilling quest. Well, that's awesome to hear, man.
Awesome. Glad that you have found our content useful. Love it. Jason asked, what is Pyment? That's mead made with grape juice. Mm-hmm. So it's grape juice and honey.
Yep. You got your Pyments, you got your Melomels, you got your Sizers, you got your traditional meads. There's a lot of different subcategories of mead.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty interesting. There's actually, we don't have any part of this. I'm just a member of this group on Facebook. The name is literally just mead.
Yeah.
And it's super interesting, very active. And so if you're thinking about making a mead, as far as Facebook groups go, I found that one to be pretty enjoyable. Nice place.
Yeah. GTD says it ain't letting me gift. Brother, that could possibly be an iPhone thing. Not sure if you're on an iPhone, but if you are, we've got a special link we can drop in there for you no, that's a join link. That's not a gift link. I'm not sure how you do it. Maybe you got to go to the browser.
He's done it before.
Oh, well,
GTD.
I don't know what's going on then.
Shout out to that Dolph video too you tagged me in earlier today. I enjoyed that one. Haven't seen many Liebig type arms on a thumper. Yeah. I could agree with that. Mm-hmm. Cap still hasn't fallen on my mash, and it's at 1.000, and I've already made 2 runs out of it.
That's unusual.
It is unusual. I did have, I don't know, some of those, if it's an all grain, and I think, Kevin, if I remember correctly, you're kind of running some all grains. I have seen in that 55-gallon barrel of all grain that I have in the back, Windsong.
Windsong with the 5 gifts. Oh, she snagged Disney up in there.
Disney up, boiler up. But yeah, that cap took a long time to fall, and I was taking gravities on it, just kind of punching a hole in the center of it and dropping a hydrometer down in it, and it was at like 1 for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days before the cap fell.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like finished out. I don't know how long you've been.
Yeah.
Don't
know if anyone noticed the new logo over there on the side.
Oh yeah. Well, I always get it wrong. Right here.
So that was the winner of the poll for the different logos. So that's going to be our new logo, and yeah, there it is, big and bold right there. Love it,
baby.
So we're going to start working on some t-shirts and hats and goodies and things like that for you guys. We'll probably get some stickers ordered, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, thanks for voting on that. Thanks for choosing one for the channel members.
Papa Long Roach up there says, I broke my back 18 months ago after 2 surgeries and a bunch of rods and bolts in my back. I'll be able to make shine again this year. I'm excited. Awesome, dude. Yeah, glad to hear you're hopefully recovering well from that, and glad to see you back on the old steel, getting her working. There's old Paul Johnson. How are you, brother?
Brother Paul. joining on the Homebrew Center
he's
channel.
On the HBC channel, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Winsong
Jar's pretty full.
Winsong was just showing us that the Android, you can still buy the gifts on the Android. Thank you.
Thank you all for them jar emojis.
And this is jar number 1, y'all, so we don't know what it's coming off at yet. But we's about to find out.
Come on, baby. This is...
Ray says 190.
Oh, God. Whew. Oh, God. Nice.
190, 167, 182, 186, 183.
I didn't see. You already put that. Oh. I'm saying, I'm throwing a guess out there. 189.
189.
188. Hydro looks awful deep. Yeah, I didn't see what the...
Yeah, it's sunk down there. And this is just for the Duke. I know he's lurking.
Big bubble man. Big bubble man.
Woo! I never can remember the rule for neutral. Is it 185?
I think so. Yeah, 185. 185 or higher.
It's got to be 185. Well, we did get it. There's Garbage Thrown Daddy with the gifts. Thank you, sir. There's an entry into the still giveaway. Jar number 1.
Love that.
That jar came out at 187. I saw a couple of 187s up there.
Terry Clark says, love a big set of bubbles.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Terry?
Looks like the first 187 was Trickster.
It was 187?
I was close. 187.
I was close.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Ricky Walton got him a membership there. I instantly like dudes named Ricky.
Yeah, just a lot of good Rickies.
Yeah, dude, just a lot of good Rickies.
In grade school, I had a Ricky that he and I butted heads quite a bit. Didn't like each other.
I did not like him.
Did not like.
What was his last name?
Did not like that Ricky.
What was his last name?
Should I say? Yeah, he's not watching. Morrison.
He said it?
Yeah, he's not watching.
Funny. That's funny. Yeah, Ricky Morrison.
Yeah, yeah. We just traded hatred for about a year.
You see a Ricky Morrison hop in the chat and it's like, oh,
What do you mean?
I thought we were pretty good buddies.
Yeah.
What does it go into the still at? Seriously, so, and that's the name of the person over on TikTok. We proof it down below 40. So this one was like 38. I think when we originally pulled all of our feints into the bucket that we loaded the still with, it was somewhere around 120 or so. And we proof it down with water. I think we ended up with probably what, about 6-ish gallons?
6-ish gallons.
Something like that, five and a half, 6, somewhere in there. So yeah, and the reason that we proof it down is to reduce the validity, the combustionable aspect of like high proof liquor.
Yeah.
So that we're not.
You just don't want to put anything in the still above 40 proof, no matter what. Just don't do it.
Down to it.
You can.
You can. Sometimes it'll work.
Yeah.
Sometimes
You just should not.
it'll flatten your shine shack.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to avoid. As good moonshiners, we try to mitigate the risk of blowing up our own shine shacks ourselves, our neighbor's property, our shed, our home.
Yeah, there's lots of things in life you can do. Doesn't necessarily mean you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us an example.
I had a motorcycle that would do 120.
That just seems
Doesn't
like
mean
just
I
good, clean
should.
fun.
I mean, I don't know, that front wheel just starts kind of wobbling.
120 on a bike's pretty squirrely.
Yeah.
I had a BM.
Actually, I'll be honest, I never got to 120.
Yeah.
I stopped long before 120.
I had a Beamer that'd go about 140 and just ripping her down the new interstate when it was like brand new and there was nobody on it. It was literally just me one evening, and I'm like, there's nobody around.
Why not?
140 is scary.
Joe, we are running propane tonight, not electric. We were a little worried about our controller because it was making some smells there towards the end the last time.
We were pushing it,
and so we hadn't had the time between now and last Thursday to kind of open it up and see if it looked all right and all that. So we just thought, you know what, let's just do some propane.
I don't think we could. We were trying to. We couldn't really bear the thought of potentially having 2 runs in a row where something just didn't go right. So we just went back to Old Faithful for this week. It'll be back though. We got to peel it open and look at it and see what we're thinking.
Yeah. Back in the day, my uncle blew up his steel sight in half the side of a ridge. Dang, dadgum.
Oof.
Seriously, 189.45 miles per hour is as fast as I've ever been on 2 wheels. That's too fast.
It's fast enough for me, brother.
It's too fast.
Yeah. Yep. I think my speed demon days are about behind me. I like a nice, cool, probably 5 under if I'm in my truck. That's because sometimes I'm just giving her all she's got. Depends on hills in that situation too.
Yeah. I do 145 on I-40, or I'm sorry, 75 on I-40.
Okay.
That's the speed
I was about
limit.
to say, geez.
No. 227, Jesus.
227's wild.
This guy's a racer or something for a living.
You trying to die, bub? I usually set the cruise
Drag
10 over.
racing.
No, I'm a big fan. If I'm not in my truck, I'm just normally going the speed limit because that's all I want to force my truck to do. But like if I'm in my car or something, I'm setting that cruise at like 9 over and just relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, he's a drag racer, sounds like. That's pretty wild.
Paul says he thinks he got up to 45 one time on the interstate.
Paul pushing the boundaries.
RIP to 3 in the chat. Couldn't agree more. Mud Grips gone too soon. Number 3 on the track, number 1 in our hearts.
All right, so there was another announcement. No, I can't think of it.
Another announcement.
Oh, no, it was the logo. We already did the logo. We're running this show like a well-oiled machine. Yeah, Poison's having an issue with the iPhone.
Come on,
I see it now.
Them goddamn iPhones will get you.
Well, we got a lot of people liking to talk about the speeds.
Got some speed demons in here.
Yeah. I'm either at or below speed limit.
Hot, nasty, badass speed.
I'm going to check that. It's kind of slowing down a bit. The thing about running the flagmator and the condenser, your water heats up faster. So we've already got like 4 gallons
Trickster.
ice jugs in there.
There he is. 5 gifted from the Trickster man himself. Joe Parks, how many followers do you have, Zach? I'm coming up, I don't know, I think it's like 97 and some change, something like that. I don't know, I can't look at it right now.
I'm going to move the drip cam. I'm going to see if they can see the reflux. See if they can watch it rain in here.
Seriously asks over on TikTok, so when making a fruit brandy, how do you decide on building your mash? Well, I treat a brandy, right, as I would. Oh, look at that. Can't interrupt that. Let's get a good shot there. Look at that. Water just crashing down the side of the glass. Well, that copper looks good. So I treat a brandy mash just as I do a wine fermentation, because they are the same thing. Now, if you're making a mountain brandy, right, there's some aspect of grain in there mixed with fruit. I know from outside of the fruit, right, that I'm going to use a couple things. I'm going to use pectic enzyme, I'm going to use yeast nutrient, and I'm going to probably use EC1118 yeast. So I know that. I've got that off to the side. Now I'm looking at what kind of a fruit am I dealing with. Is it a fruit that's going to require a lot of processing? Is there pits or seeds that I need to get out of it, skins that need to come off, et cetera, et cetera? And then generally what I did before we had the Mary's Wine Recipes books is I was just kind of looking up online starting gravities and fruit and how much sugar content's in certain fruits, and then I was going off that. Well, the Mary's Wine Recipe book makes it pretty similar, or a lot easier, I should say, in that you can kind of flip to it, and it's going to let you know how many pounds of fruit and how many pounds of sugar per gallon. And there's a range in there, right? More, for instance, I love making blackberry wine. And not all blackberries are created equally, especially when you go and pick them like I do. And so you got to kind of assess where's your gravity at and how much sugar should I bump to get my desired end ABV, should I work all the way down. So that's generally kind of how I try to think about a brandy mash when I'm trying to put one together. Think about the type of fruit, how you're going to process it, how you're going to get it working, and kind of go from there. Sorry if that was a word salad on
No, that was a good answer.
brandies.
The Duke says 25 minutes in and no talk of women's toilets. We listened.
Well, it's all
We
changed
kinda-
now.
We kind of, the Duke sent us a message and said, hey.
He said don't talk about this, and then he brought
And
it up.
then he brought it up.
What's that about, dude?
Yeah.
You're sending me mixed signals here.
The Duke is always kind of reining us in a little bit, saying, hey, boys, come on. Come on now.
We should be able to talk a little bit about the woman's loo. Isn't that what they call them? Loos?
Yeah. Are you worried
Could be.
about extra heads when using pectic enzymes on fruit? No, it can, because now when you say are you worried about extra heads, I assume what you're really talking about is methanol, which is not the same as heads, but pectic enzymes help reduce the amount of methanol that's produced during the fermentation of fruit. So no, you use pectic enzymes to help reduce methanol.
Hey, how funny would it be if we started mailing Duke, like, if we mailed Duke like a 12-pack of like a mixture of just American light beers that we know, right, it's going to be a bad review. He's not going to like these. Yeah. And then just to have him film the reviews and just complain about them the whole time.
That would be funny.
It would be funny. I enjoy it.
It would be funny.
Anyway, sorry. That Jason's comment up there, Duke Zach has to finish his bush apple first, made me think, like, what if we did start sending him like a bush apple, a bush peach?
Seriously, the Mary's Wine Book is a great wine book. It's a recipe book. It is available on stillintheclear.com.
And that's it. Only place you can find it on the whole internet.
Or homebrewcenter.com.
Oh, sorry.
Both of our websites, you can get it there. It's like $12 or something like that. It's very inexpensive. It's very good.
Super helpful. It's got a lot of good information and charts and stuff on the front end of it too.
Yeah, and if you can find it all over the place. If you would just rather not support our channels,
it's fine. That's fine.
It's all over the internet because it's
2 days
very
ago.
popular. It's a very good book.
But yeah, all kidding aside, very And Jeff said this morning, y'all talked about the oak staves. After you finish with the aging, how do you keep the staves for next time? And does it take longer the next time you use it?
Yes, so you just let them dry out. Pull them out of the chars, out of the whatever you aged. Give it some time to dry out. You can just feel them and they'll be, they'll get lighter. You can tell that they've dried out. And yes, every time you use them, they're slightly less effective. So it does take longer each time.
And I know some people like that. They would rather the liquor sit on the wood for longer and get the same result. I don't personally, I would just kind of want it to be done, but teach their own.
Scott says he reburns the staves, which he's not the only one that does that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people do that.
Give them a rechar.
Windsong says, is there anyone in here with an iPhone that can help Poison with membership gifting? So
just imagine.
all I know is that I think you have to go to a browser. You have to get off of the YouTube app to make that happen.
Trickster says, is she on Android? Well, she's a boy. A man, sorry.
What?
I imagine Poison just kind of on an island to himself right now, just trying to feverishly figure out how to get his entry. No clue. What's up, brother? How are you, man?
What is going on? Nick has the real solution, which is get rid of the iPhone. Everything will work fine.
I mean, iPhones are awesome.
I mean, obviously.
In this one instance, they are inconvenient.
Not this one instance, but yeah, this is one of the instances.
Every time someone texts me with green text bubbles, I just right on my phone.
It's very, you fit right in with the Apple snobs.
Yeah, I look down on you. Nah, I'm just kidding. Anyone got anything interesting they're running off? A lot of people run with us while we're making these. We're making
Kim, is Kim in here? She said this morning she was going to run with us.
Kim, you in here, girl? How are you, sister?
I'm on iPhone and have to do all purchases on my laptop.
Inconvenient.
Have any suggestions for a red corn, red wheat, and dark rye recipe? Well, if you're talking about a mash bill, so you're basically looking at, do you want it to be rye heavy, wheat heavy, corn heavy? If you're looking for a bourbon, it'll be corn heavy. So you could do like 60% red corn, 30% red wheat, and then the rest rye. Red corns, Jimmy Red, Bloody Butcher.
What's the second person that's mentioned red wheat to me today?
Yeah.
And I feel like I've gone
fellow was in here earlier.
6 months without anyone talking about it, and then like 2 in the same day.
Winter red wheat.
Yeah. Have you ever ran red wheat before?
Yeah, actually I have.
What'd you think?
Not much difference.
Pretty
than
similar.
just regular white wheat.
Did I get that question?
Can you char any wood or just hickory and oak? Yeah, you.
Cherry, hickory, oak.
You want to stick with hardwoods, and you can experiment with all of them. The softer woods do not do as well. Although I have heard some people like pine. I've never tried it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think hickory, oak, specifically American white oak, and cherry are probably the 3 most popular. I know that there's guys that have done pecan and what was another one someone was talking about? Maybe like a maple or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the 2 most popular, I think, are probably just the oak and cherry, as far as aging.
I really like the cherry toasted. I think it does pretty nice stuff for the liquor. It takes a little bit longer, but in the grand scheme of things, when you're fighting about 2, 3, 4 weeks, the way we age, it doesn't matter.
Duke says chestnut is good.
Chestnut.
Yeah, he has said that before too. I remember. I have not used chestnut. Rodney gets free soft red wheat. That's awesome.
One of the Colorado bourbon companies uses pine. It's a different taste, but pretty good. I don't know. Yeah, we may have to experiment around with some pine. Could be interesting. John B. asked, does anyone put baking soda in with Feints to help clean up tails? I heard that storing Feints with baking soda really helps over time.
That's new to me. I've not heard that. It's probably worth trying.
Could be a neat little trick. Sugar maple is pretty mellow, sweet notes. Yeah. Chestnut barrels are used to age wine in Europe. Interesting. Interesting.
Might see if we can find some chestnut around here.
Dude.
I wonder if they got some up there in West Fork. I'll ask him.
Maybe.
I bet he does.
I bet it's high as a coon's back.
Probably.
Where does that term come from?
I don't know. Whiskey Rebel asks...
Raccoon's back is not that high.
It's really not.
I've never heard that one.
Oh, okay.
Cyrus, when you let your jars breathe, how long do you let it breathe? The next day. So I can come in tomorrow morning and blend these jars if I want to do it that early. So 12 to 24 hours. I come from Scandinavia where this hobby is not allowed, but after working in a workshop for many years, I thought I would try and use the mats we use to soak up oil from the floor on stripping rounds or runs. I don't know what that means, Monger. Would use the mats we use to soak up oil from the floor on stripping rounds.
Let me know.
I don't know what that is.
Tell me more about that. You've got me. I'm pretty curious.
Paleo, thoughts on cherry wood is it has a real nice flavor. You just did an apple brandy with some cherry wood that came out really good.
Yeah, medium toast cherry wood on the apple brandy. It came out good.
Mark Brockway, do you guys do any blending of shine with the tails or just distilled water? So as far as the tails go, if I'm aging with some oak and I'm making a bourbon specifically, I like to go a little bit further into the tails than I normally would because it helps with the esters when you're aging. But as far as just going down to the tails, I mean, I think
down with
maybe
some sweet
if
water?
I think maybe if you were real deep into the tails, like 20 proof or lower,
Really, really deep.
you just kind of got. I mean, I know of people that do that. I haven't really done it.
Duke says he'll swap some chestnut for a still.
Well, hell yeah.
How much chestnut we talking, Duke? My friend Matt runs Rustic Brew Farm and sells grains grown on his Ohio farm. He has red wheat. Nice. Your buddy Matt sounds like a neat guy.
Trickster, that's not a jar. Thought he was saying jar check, but he's not.
All right, Monger. Yeah, send us that over. I'm curious about what you had going on there. Great name in the chat here. I'll try not to butcher it. Paleozoic Plankton Preacher.
Oh.
Great name. First off, Feints is for neutral, in my honest opinion. 20 plates just clean like a maniac. 20 plates is a lot. Talk about 20 bubble plates?
That's a lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is quite a bit. Feints is for neutral. Yeah, Paleo, that's what we're doing back here. This is a Feints run. First jar came off at 187.
Make some post flavorings. For those doing sour mashes, how far into your tails do you guys go on a stripping run if you're going to do a spirit run later with it?
I mean, you can strip all the way down to zero
I was
if
about
you
to
want.
say.
On a stripping run, it doesn't matter. With
Deep.
typically around here, time plays a factor. And so we might be, 40 proof and it's like, it's time to shut the still down and we're done. But yeah,
We're not going to fire it up the next day over
I know, like
two potential more jars.
Prohibition, he strips all the way to 0 every time he does it.
Yeah, Shua was telling me the other day on one of our lives that he would do that periodically, like run all the way down to 0 and then use the sweet water to proof down.
Yeah.
Ren, how are you?
Ren has joined us in the live again. Man, I think that's 2 weeks in a row, right?
Starting to look like a pattern.
Nice. I don't have a recommendation on where to get agave. Me personally, I don't. There might be someone in the chat.
We don't got a good agave guy?
Nope.
I don't either.
I mean, you can get like agave syrup and stuff like that, but that's...
My wife gets it from the grocery store. I don't know if that's the same.
I don't think it's the same, but I could be wrong.
She used to like putting it in a coffee. Man, this thing is taking its sweet time. Do we bump it more or no?
I think we just let it go nice and slow tonight because no matter what we do, we're going to have to finish it tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
We're not going to finish this tonight, so let's just let it go slow and let it run all day tomorrow while we're working around here.
Mm-hmm. Jason's about to start a sugar wash tomorrow. Nice. Fermented all the way out, finished dry. It's good, man. Low and slow.
Low and slow.
I ran to 40 proof on my rum tails. Was just wondering about blending or rerun later. Ran to 40 proof on my rum tails. Was just wondering about blending or rerun it later.
I mean, if it was me, I'm going to rerun it. I'm gonna make my cut between hearts and tails, and everything from that cut and lower, I'm rerunning later. But that's how I do it.
I get agave at Wally World. Yeah, 5-gallon batches. Car's got a LA agave guy. You gotta go pick it up.
I know a guy.
I got a guy. He's in LA. Does not deliver. Won't ship. Bad neighborhood.
Mud Grips asks, can I use a regular wax worm for fishing in the final product? Huh?
Well, so a wax worm for fishing, I get. Oh, are you talking about just like for decoration? I think it would eat away your lure and really probably make the wax. I mean, I would not recommend it. I think that it would. I've had those wax worms. If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, just wanting to make it look like it's like the whole worm in the bottle thing, tequila.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would not recommend that.
I probably wouldn't do that
I would
either.
not recommend that. I think the alcohol would eat away at that and not be good. I could have absolutely just misunderstood the question you asked, but if that's what you're asking, don't do it.
Motor City Hellbilly says the ABV graphic on TV screen will make a good lighted sign. Hell
true.
yeah.
We already got this
I
bitch
completely agree.
still in the clear. Sound back. I can't ever
mean-
point to what I want to point to. Why is it every time? Yeah, there we go. Boop.
Yeah.
Sent us a pretty bitchin' sign there. If I do say so myself.
When you're trying to point and you're looking at yourself on the screen, all you have to remember is I'm going to point opposite of where I'm trying to point.
Yeah, I can't. It's not. I don't have it in me. My brain. I don't know if I'm.
Okay.
Can I be dyslexic?
You
I would
should've-
know by now, right?
You should have paid more attention in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm gonna move past it. Not think
Any
about it too hard.
secrets? Yeah. Any secrets to the Jimmy Red corn? Got 10 pounds to build a mash. I don't have any secrets on it yet. I don't have any secrets yet. I'm sure there are people in here that have done a lot more work with Jimmy than I have.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Put a queen honeybee in the bottle. It's an expensive little kind of gag. Those queens are good. I guess they at some point they pass away of natural causes. I don't know. Get back, Rick. How does that work? Explain the life cycle of a queen bee to me. Yeah, that's true. What Scott's saying there. Throw some apples in that red corn mash. That is a popular mash bill that I see when guys are messing around with the red corns. They love putting fruit in them, particularly apples. I think Chad has one going, maybe. Old moonshiner Chad.
You don't know me asks, what causes an ammonia smell in a sugar wash? I don't have any answers for what causes smells in a mash. Sometimes they smell great. Sometimes they smell awful. I run every one of them, and they never smell like they did when they were fermenting.
Yeah. I think sometimes, too, the gases can get trapped in the fermenter, and it's almost like they settle out, because I've noticed, too, if I've got a mash down here, and I'm smelling up here, I can get a good smell of it. And sometimes if I'll get real close down in there to it, it's like I almost get to a point where it stings. You get that ammonia, and it's like it almost kind of settles in there. I think as time goes on, it just kind of flushes out of there. But yeah, I've had really stinky mashes and really good smelling mashes, and both of which have made, in my opinion, some pretty good liquor.
Iron Duke's asking, how noticeable is the difference in taste between the various different corn varieties? And we have not been able to experiment with all the new varieties we have. But the first one that Zach did was he used both of the white corns, and it was noticeably different.
Yeah.
It was noticeably different. It was more, I hate using the word creamy because it's a terrible descriptor of taste, but
Yeah. It's almost, it was
less
almost,
sweet,
yeah.
and more, buttery maybe? Is that? Would that
Yeah,
be a
I
good
could buy
way to-
that, yeah.
I'm terrible at describing flavors, but
What's up, Bennett? What did Bennett say on here? Fruit helps red corn, so I hear. Yeah, Bennett's not a big fan of the red corns.
yeah, he's been clear on that
He's outspoken
from
about
the
it.
get-go.
Yeah. Which a lot of people do say that they can be more oily and that they just, I don't know. We got to mess with them more before I form an opinion.
Is oats good with corn in a mash? And if so, what's a good ratio on a 15-gallon mash? Yeah, oats are real good with corn. Our beginner bourbon recipe is corn and oats, and the ratio is 2 parts corn to 1 part oats, or 66% corn to 33% oats, and it's really good.
I've got some oats in my the white heirloom corn, the trucker, and the hickory that I mix 50-50. If you've been watching us very often, I've talked about it a little bit. And I'm kind of tuning that mash around, and I've got some oats in it. And yeah, excited to see how that turns out. The general contention on oats is that it can tend to smooth out some harsher flavors and just mellow out your liquor. So we're going to see.
Seriously says, talking about the ammonia, would be a bacteria that make acetaldehyde that generally puts off ammonia. Okay, cool.
Fair enough. Chickster said, so I pulled all the grains out of my beginner bourbon mash and wanted to start a sour mash. How long can I keep those grains in a sealed bucket? If you've removed them from the liquid, they're going to have a shelf life, right?
Start a sour mash. How long can I keep those grains? So you want to make sure that if you're going to store those grains in a sealed bucket, make sure they're covered with liquid. So put some water in there, or put some of your back set in there, and make sure they're covered so that the air isn't getting to them. And
I don't know if the TikTok's on.
I'm not sure how long that's going to be good for. But I think if it was me, I probably wouldn't go more than a week without getting a batch going on a sour mash. And I assume you're talking about the grain, if I read that question correctly. Yeah, how long can I keep those grains?
Looking at that.
I like to rerun my corn grains and stopped putting oats in for that reason. Don't want to rerun the oats. I guess you're saying, Scott. Mm-hmm. Corn, barley, and oats is also a good choice, Ricky Bobby. How bit corn needed for me gallon of crypto fuel? Brother, we can always count on Rick to throw something out there.
That's funny. We should start our own moonshine crypto.
our own little meme coin.
Yeah.
You could.
Likker coin.
Yeah, you absolutely could. I'm not sure I want to.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
We know a lot about it, right?
I know very little about it.
I know nothing. I was leaning on you for the expertise side of that. Maybe we'll get the Adam working on that. Stack Likker coin.
STC coin.
And to be fair, like if you're listening to us talk to you about how you should invest your money in some obscure crypto coin, maybe you deserve to lose it.
I mean, it's probably a good chance you're going to lose it.
I mean, listen, I think people looking at me generally, if I walked up to you at a gas station and was like, hey, have you seen this cool crypto coin? Mm-hmm. And you weren't like, I'm judging you at that point.
Yeah, Trickster, if you covered it with distilled water, you'd be okay for a minute. I mean, if it was me, I probably wouldn't go past a week.
Monger tried an all-grain batch of 31 gallons, but only fermented about 50% from 1092 down to 1046, and the pH was at 3.2, so I dumped it. The hygiene was in place, and the temperature was 77. Don't dump your mashes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have dumped it at 3.2. I would have raised the pH before I dumped it.
Never dump your mashes. Never give up on them. They're like our children, okay? We look at them, we pat them, then we put them on our stills. We always tell people that. People will come in and be like, oh yeah, this stopped working or something, and then I just dumped it out. And I'm always like, oh God, every time they're like, yeah, I dumped like 20 gallons the other day of wine or whatever it is. I'm like, ooh, don't do that, dude.
Yeah. Make
a phone call, try to figure it out.
Rooster says, good afternoon. Question, my sugar mash stalled out. pH is 551 and it's sitting at
1.20. What was your starting gravity and what kind of yeast did you use? pH isn't throwing a red flag to me, so no. I'd want to know what your yeast tolerance was and what your starting gravity was.
Yeah, and what did you use for nutrients? Because anytime you do just a straight sugar mash, you should be using nutrients.
Nutrienta. How much corn, sugar do you guys use for a 20-gallon mash? Well, if you're just making a sugar wash, you're not converting starches, which it sounds like that's what you're asking. I think a good rule of thumb is 2 pounds of sugar per gallon. Regular table sugar has a starting gravity has 30 gravity points per pound of sugar.
45.
So, table sugar is?
Table sugar is 45. Yeah.
Dextrose is 35?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's going to put you up there, pretty high. Isn't that right? Why am I thinking it's...
I don't know why you were thinking 30. Maybe...
I mean, most of the corns and stuff are when you...
Yeah, the PPG of corns are mostly around 30. That might have been what you were thinking.
Yeah. 2 pounds of sugar per gallon. And then your corn's flavor, and I think, Cyrus, you normally recommend people doing 1 pound per gallon on a sugar wash.
With corn, with your grain? Yeah.
So you'd have 20 pounds of cracked corn and, you know, I don't know, 40-ish pounds of sugar, maybe a little less. 40 may put you up there a little higher. You get a lot of bang for your buck. If you don't crash or anything, you're going to be at around 1090 starting.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like to shoot around 1065 just because they know they're not going to have ferment issues. If that's you and you don't want to gamble too hard, you can bump that down to maybe 1.5 pounds per gallon. Put you somewhere around 65, 70.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby, there's, you know, if you're wanting to learn more, Ricky Bobby, you want to join the Moonshine for Beginners group over on MeWe.com. I guarantee you that's the best place to go learn anything about this hobby. There's lots of people over there that love to help, and Adam's just dropped some links in the chat. Click those links, go join. That's where you're going to learn more than anything, anywhere else.
Like a big old family over there. Everybody is pretty cool. Oh, jar emoji.
Little MFB emojis in the chat. Lots of, most of the, if you see the people with the Still in the Clear badge next to their name, and their chats are a different color than everybody else, they're green, they're Moonshine for Beginners members, and so they're dropping the MFB emoji in support of Moonshine for Beginners.
There's some brandy Feints in that, I think.
Yeah.
Smells kind of pretty sweet and floral. That's going to make some nice post flavors.
Jar number 2. Jar number 2. Jar number 1 was 187.
Give me 190 here. Give me 190. I'm claiming it.
We got 183, 186. Ooh, did you hear that thing drop?
I think it's sitting on the bottom.
I think I need to add a little here. Oh, what do we got? 188, 191, 189, 188, 178. Of course, we got to shake the bubbles.
You Don't Know Me says, I've learned so much from just watching Still in the Clear videos. Thank
Nice.
you for posting them.
Yeah, you bet. I'm glad you have found them helpful.
Yep.
Those bubbles disappear.
They're there.
Jesus.
They're gone. There? Gone.
Rousey says 201.
Rooster Shine asks, can I still run it if it's not finished? I'm off tomorrow and working next 2 weeks. Of course you can. The question is, should you? Yeah, I mean, you know, if you want to knock it out.
All right. Yeah, you can certainly run it before it's done. You're going to get less yield. You're not going to get as much alcohol. And so as long as you understand that up front, I have heard people complain about having too much sugar content when they run and it causing problems. That hasn't happened to me when I've ran them early. But yeah, you can run it before it's ready. It's just best to just be patient and wait if you can. Jar number 2 was 189. Whiskey Rebel hit the 189. Nice, Adam. Adam's throwing it up there. Yeah, 189. All right, so we're at the top of the hour. We are going to take a minute, go, use the restroom, refill your glass, come back and sit with us. KRB with the 5 Still in the Clear gift memberships. that is an entry into the drawing for this beautiful still behind me. Not this still, but a brand new one just like this still. So yeah, we're gonna do our intermission, go to the bathroom, refill your drink, get right back here, 5 more minutes. We'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
We're 9 days away.
9 more days.
9 days away from giving away one of these bad boys.
I've never been so excited to like
Pretty
give
awesome.
something away.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm jacked up about it, man. Yeah. Dual Purpose Pro, running it again this week. Getting close to the end of the giveaway, and I'm excited. We're going to run a neutral spirit this week.
Yeah, we got our bucket, what is that, 6 gallons-ish right there of Feints. We're going to clean them up. This also includes the catastrophe from last week.
It's all in there. I forgot about that.
We're going to clean that up.
I deleted that from my mind. Haven't thought about it since right now.
Right. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be running tonight. We're going to make some neutral spirits out of it. We are going to be running this still with all of its components in its full glory to see how high proof we can make. Get some neutral spirit.
Got any guesses?
Give
Give me the high jar. Give me the high jar.
192. 192 is the top.
Give me 193. Give me 193.
Okay.
Let's
All
see.
right. Also, I want to give another shout out to Mile Hi for letting us do this. They are the ones giving this still away. We're doing it together, but what a bunch of cool cats over there, because
Just good people.
and they've been around forever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been in the moonshining world for a while, you've heard their name already.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about the versatility. Here's all the parts for this still, the way we're going to run it tonight. And here's another cool part about this still, right? We talk about the versatility. It even has more versatility. Because let's say you got this 8-gallon.
Whoa. More versatility?
Right.
How could that be?
No, for real. Because you've got this 8-gallon. Let's say they also have a 16-gallon,
Oh, yeah.
a 26-gallon,
Okay.
a 53 or 56-gallon.
Jeez.
And all you have to do is upgrade the pot, because that opening is the same opening.
Oh,
this.
so you mean like the column and everything, the cap will fit on all the other corresponding bigger pots? Oh,
all
that's
the
pretty
other
cool.
pots.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's pretty slick too. It just makes upgrading so much easier.
Well, and it would be cool to pretty much have one complete system. You change out the pot on it, and then you're running, big mashes, or you're running a test mash or a brandy or something.
Yeah.
It's kinda
Or
cool.
if you're doing a double distillation, you can run the 26-gallon.
Oh,
Do a stripping
all
mash,
the
And then it all fits in the 8-gallon.
Damn, I never thought about
Pretty
it that
slick.
way.
Pretty
That is
slick.
pretty cool.
So, that's what we're doing tonight. And we're going to drop a link down in the chat tonight for Mile Hi. And you should just go over there, check them out.
I'm surprised by some of the stuff they've got on their website. Like, it's
They've got
not
a
just
ton of
stills
crap.
over there. They got some cool stuff.
They've got a ton of crap. They've
Yeah.
got something over there you need. Let's go show them some love. Go
They
over
got a
there
ton
and
of
find
crap.
something. Ton of crap. Yeah. I mean, you
I love it,
need
man.
some yeast, some turbo, they've kind of got their own brand of turbo.
They're knowledgeable folks too. I mean, so like outside of them just having that distillery and kind of being in line with like the moonshining community, like they're very knowledgeable.
Right.
Like, you can tell by talking to Boo and
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
that other cat's name over there?
Noah.
Noah.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
So, that's what we're doing tonight.
We got a rack of Pyment too.
We are going to rack a Pyment.
We're gonna rack a
Forgot about that.
Pyment. What else we got going on? Just a lot of tomfoolery, just general shenanigans, just a good time.
Shenanigans. Yeah.
Probably going to be drinking some of our favorite beers, and then also, if we didn't mention it already, we have proof down, what you're about to watch me pour in here. We proofed our fates down to probably 38, something like that. Got a little under 40, and
So if you want to go ahead and start pouring that in, we are going to be with you in the live shortly. Can't wait to see you. Let's have some fun.
meet your maker, Sean.
And we're back. I'm back. Zach's helping a customer at the moment. I see Salzane has jumped in. Good to see you, brother. Second day off forced retirement. Man, I feel for you, brother. Yeah, Moonshine Legos, lots of good chats in there. Yeah, it's nice having parts that interchange. And when you're using these standard tri-clamps, whether it's 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, whatever, we have multiple steels that we can interchange caps and columns, and it's pretty nice. Let's see. Talking about steels you can buy, I guess. Nick says, with the Mile Hi, can you still effectively run things like brandy? I don't know a lot about it. Yeah, because you can run this still, and I'll come over here, I'll grab the jar cam and show you. So you can take this, oh, I gotta unplug it. You can take this, the head off, which is this piece here that the Liebig comes out of, and you can put it straight down here on the bottom, and you're effectively running you're running it in pot still mode, and you've got a real short vapor path, which is good for brandies. And you've got this sight glass that's this tall. You've got the deflagmator, so you can interchange all of these parts on this column, make it as short as you want. I've also got a 6-inch stainless 2-inch column that I can use on this too, but that didn't come with it. But yeah, you can run brandy with this still. It's one of the good things about this still. All the stills that we have and we run here in the shop, there are reasons why we run each one. Different stills are good for different things. The Mile Hi is probably the most versatile still that we have because you can do so many different things with it. Thank you, Salzane. It is a nice setup. That is the still we're giving away this month. I keep saying that still. We're not giving that still away. We're giving a new version of that still away this month. So if you're not aware of the giveaway that's going on, we're giving the Dual Purpose Pro, the 8-gallon, the same still that's behind me, giving it away this month. If you want to enter to win that, go to the stillintheclear.com shop, and any purchase gets you an entry. If you buy a grain kit or a recipe kit, that's a double entry. And you see people gifting memberships on here. 5 gifted memberships during the live is also an entry. So if you want to enter to win, that's how you do it. Where are you streaming when I don't see the comments? So sometimes when you rewatch a live stream, the live comments don't show up on the replay. And that's a setting that sometimes I forget to click. I'm not real sure what you're asking there, Monger. Where are you streaming when I don't see the comments?
I wonder maybe if he's asking about where else we're streaming, because we're consolidating them all.
Okay,
He's on the HBC channel.
Okay, so Monger, if you go to Still in the Clear YouTube channel, you can see all the comments there. You can also see on TikTok.
Yep.
All the comments, if you go to ABV Guy on TikTok, you can see all the comments there.
Link. Yeah, let me get you one, buddy.
Adam's going to grab you a link, Monger. Paul is asking, does an in-store purchase get you an entry for winning the still? For you, Paul, for sure. So any of our kind of regulars that watch the channel and all of that, if you come in and buy something, say, hey, I want a entry, just let me know, and we'll put you in there. I found that if you don't open the YouTube app, it's impossible to comment on the lives. I didn't even know. Yeah, okay. Don't know. If I could get my still to mow the grass, I'd be set. I missed that one earlier. We got 50 people in the chat on the Still in the Clear YouTube channel. That is awesome. Thanks for joining us. Like the live, share the live if you don't mind. That'd be awesome. Let's see how many people we can get in here. I used Facebook Live when I was muted on YouTube. Works great on Facebook. Yeah, so I guess we are streaming to Facebook still?
Yep.
Yeah. There's one person on Facebook right now, which might be Adam. So not a lot of traffic over there on the Facebook Live, but it's playing over there right now. Daniel says, think I'm going into winemaking. Making wine is a lot of fun. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So now is your opportunity if you want to talk about Zach behind his back. He's not here.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you want.
Yeah, this is a good time.
You know, he might find out later, but
Nah.
there's Monger. He made it to the Still in the Clear channel. Just got gifted a bottle of Old Rip Van Winkle from the in-laws. Man, nice little gift right there. Zach who? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I might as well just move to the center, you know. We also, for those of you that are new to the live, we have the new logo for the ABV Society, voted on by the channel members. That's the one they chose. That's the one we got. We'll be getting some t-shirts and hats and stuff like that out. Might even get Motor City Hellbilly to make us another light. That'd be sweet. If you didn't know, he made that light right there, the Still in the Clear light that's hanging up back there. The viewers will go up now. Yeah, now that Zach's not in here, we'll probably get way up on the views. Paul loves the new logo. Thank you. Thank you. So what's everybody got running this week? I know there's several folks out there, well, that are in the morning lives. They're always talking about what they're running. Ren, we will see you later. Thanks for hanging out with us. Can we get a shirt with Zach's face and the words monkey business on it? I mean, we might be able to do that.
I like that.
That could happen.
It's kind of an inside joke.
It's kind of an inside joke. It is. Yeah. Zach's legs are running people off. How do I order a Still in the Clear light? Wait a minute, was that, he said Mud Grip. How do I order a Still? Was it Mud Grip or was it Motor City Hellbilly that? I think that's who it was. I think it was Motor City Hellbilly that made it, and I don't know. He hasn't contacted us. I'd love to contact him about, you know, ordering several of those that we could send out to people. That would be sweet. Joe's got a triple malt mash going. Corn, oats, and caramel malt. Nice.
And I'm back.
And he's back. Oh my gosh, the viewers dropped to 47 just as you walked in. There was up to like 62.
Damn it. Damn it. You'll have that.
So how's Mr. Welder today?
He's doing good, man.
Yeah?
He's doing good.
What can I use in place of malt? Well, are you talking about for, Terry Clark is asking this, are you talking about for flavor or for conversion? If you're talking about for just the conversion that, you know, normally a malted barley would do, nothing beats the liquid enzymes.
Thank you.
I think I've got some right over here I can show everybody. These are the ones we use in the shop. You've got a high temperature alpha, and that goes in at like 190 degrees. There's a window from like 150 to 190. You can put that in. Turns the starches into long chain sugars, and then after that, because the long chain sugars are not consumable by the yeast, you also add glucose anywhere from 130 degrees down to 90 degrees, and that converts the long chain sugars into fermentable sugars. So you can definitely replace your malt grains with this. And if you're talking about flavor, I don't know, like malted grains have their own kind of flavor. You might be able to use some like dry malted extract or liquid malt extract to get the similar flavors.
There's people too that will keep mash bills the same and not rely on the diastolic power of the malted grains, and they'll still use the high temp alpha and glucose and not change the flavor profile of their mash. So, which I kind of agree with that school of thinking. I mean,
now say that again.
So using the same malted grains that you would use in your mash bill, and instead of relying on their diastatic power to convert, using the high temp alpha and glucose,
yeah,
but keeping their flavor profile the same.
Yeah, we do it all the time here.
Yeah.
Yep. Trickster's running the simple bourbon mash this weekend. That's awesome. You're gonna love that one.
That's a great one. Jason Strong with the 5 gifted.
Woohoo!
Dude.
There's another entry into the giveaway for Jason.
Did we stop? Did YouTube? They did. They shut us down on the memberships for the night. Okay.
It sure looks like it.
Are people getting their money back on those?
I don't know. I mean, if I do know this, I know that if the gift really didn't happen, YouTube refunds your money.
Yeah.
If you don't get refunded your money, that means the gift did happen, but it didn't get posted. Motor City says, I'm right here, guys. I made the light. Yeah, Cyrus, we can get some more made. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you about that, brother.
Bitchin' little light, if you ask me. Hagar
Terry's
said he got his money back last week.
Oh, yeah, okay. Scott says, I'd buy a light. Terry Clark's going to call an order tomorrow. I guess you're talking about the liquid enzymes. Let's see, Scott. The high temp amylase works so well, you will find out you can't do without it. I mean, that's kind of like, it's all I use for conversions anymore. It's so easy to do it that way.
You don't know me, just got a gift.
Just one membership. They bought 5.
Oh,
Why doesn't Paul get one? Give Paul one, YouTube.
it's all random. Like we don't know who's going to get them. But You Don't Know Me got one. That's awesome. You Don't Know Me now has the Still in the Clear badge next to his name.
Pack your coffee and your crayons and get ready for the morning lives. You're invited.
Yeah, every morning, go live, 8:30 Central Standard Time. Have some coffee together, talk a little shit, and answer a few questions, and that's it.
Paul Johnson just ran a super simple mash yesterday, then made a sour mash early this morning. Paul likes some sour mashes.
Yes, he's a big fan of the sour mash.
So
Zane got a gift. Hell yeah.
Okay, they're still petering in here.
They're kind of randomly popping in. Yeah, okay. Reading stuff's already got read. They only gifted 3 of the gifted memberships that I gave earlier. Well, sometimes they do get gifted, but they don't show up in the chat. I'm not sure how it all comes about.
I think, and I don't know, I could be wrong about this, but I think when we have like 51 members, and of course I'm seeing Paul up there. Paul doesn't have one, but I think once they run out of members in the live to gift, because I think some of the ones that get gifted out there in here, they just don't chat. We're on their TV or whatever.
I see.
So I'm thinking maybe that could be.
Like
I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
We just don't know all the answers.
Don't we have people get memberships that aren't watching?
I don't know that. I know that sometimes people get gifted memberships when they're not chatting, but I think that there's a certain like amount of people that watch us on their TV and aren't also logged in from their phone and chat.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff against the wall here.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dukes is letting everyone know the Rise and Shine is at 2:30 p.m. in the UK.
Where's he at?
Which is Duke's not usually in there. I think it's his nap time. That's when Duke is napping.
Adorable. Just imagine every morning across the pond there's a well-read and well-spoken Duke just having a little slumber while we're drinking our coffee.
Yeah.
Love that.
Siesta time, he says. Yeah.
I'll watch the lives on my way to work in the morning.
Yeah, 6:30 on the left coast. Whew. Some gifts go to people that haven't been here in a long time. Well, I know YouTube says they are chosen randomly from the entire pool of channel subscribers.
Scott Bryan in the chat says I don't like when Duke's in here. Well, that's not very nice, Scott.
Why are you picking on the Duke? What's
Dude,
your problem with the Duke?
You got beef with the Duke, man? What the hell? You don't know me. This is my first time here. Well, heck yeah, man.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Welcome to the show.
Hagar, the Dukester.
Boy. Have not seen the sun in 6 days.
What?
Crawl out of your hole, brother. Join us back in society. Welcome to the shenanigans is right. Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah. Well, what do you say? Let's go ahead and do the Pyment.
All right. I don't see a reason why not.
Are we gonna use gravity on this one? Do I need to get a bucket to set it on? Or?
Let me think. Well, that'd be a pretty high as far as getting it out of. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
We should use some gravity.
We probably should.
I'll find something to put it up on.
We've got this little stool here, which would get us.
Yeah, that'll work.
Above our. Think that's a problem?
Nope. We're going to use the little stool here. I don't know if the tubing's going to be long enough.
We're going to find out.
And of course, we have sanitized all of our equipment. Oh, and I can tell you this smells really good. I'm gonna find you a longer piece of tubing.
Well, I mean, really, if I can just set this up like another 2 inches, we're gonna be good. So if we got a block or something.
Yeah, I'll grab you one.
Oh man, that does smell pretty awesome. Shouldn't be a huge bet on this, considering what we. Give me some short choppy. Just get me started there.
And there it goes.
Mm-hmm.
How many people in the chat have made a Pyment? Or how many people would like to make a Pyment that haven't? Or
How many people
Who-
hate Pyment
who
and would
hates
never make
Pyment?
one? Funny.
And for those of you that don't know what a Pyment is, it is a subcategory of mead. It is grape juice and honey and yeast in its most basic form.
I love that. Solzane said, my grass gets any higher, I may have to move. Oh, shit.
Pyment, never heard of it.
I would like to make one. Don't want to wait a year. You don't have to wait a year. This thing will be done. It'll be cleared up. 60 days. It doesn't have to age to be good. It is like a wine. It will get better with some age, but it's good as soon as it's cleared and bottled.
Winsong says, Cyrus, that box and bucket remind me of something else you once built. What you talking about?
What's going on there, buddy?
I'm trying to think.
What's going on there, big guy?
Duke said we're not allowed to talk about toilets. So, not sure if I'd say it.
Was it a toilet?
It was a compost
toilet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I had to think there. I was like, what could she be talking about? Yeah, I had a toilet
Okay,
seat.
we've
and
come
everything
full circle.
Yeah.
It would appear.
Yeah.
You said talking about women's restrooms. You didn't say anything about talking about unisex restrooms.
That's right. Scott says, I bet figs would be good as a Pyment. Well, Scott, specifically, Pyment is grape juice and honey. So as long as you use that as the base and you added figs to it, you could still call it a Pyment, I believe. But it has to be made with
be a
grape
melomel,
juice
wouldn't it?
instead of water. I think it would be considered a melomel at that point, though.
Not to get too technical.
I mean,
Also, it's
you
your
could-
ferment. You can call it whatever the
yeah,
hell you want to.
you could certainly just use figs and call it Pyment, and I'll go, oh, cool, man, this is good Pyment.
Denzel Washington. Call it blue dog shit for all I care.
Give you a hand here.
Thank you, thank you.
Tip this over.
Thanks for being a friend.
Now, we're racking
Making
this off.
comments until the end.
We are racking this off, but it's not done fermenting, but we're just moving it out of this plastic bucket, getting it into the glass, removing a lot of the head space, because this was a 6.9 gallon bucket and it was a 3 gallon mash, or must specifically. And so this way we can remove some of the airspace and avoid future oxidation.
Well, I think we can like really fill this to the brim too since we've worked it off in this primary fermenter now, right?
Yep.
And maybe you just said that, right?
Well, we're just, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not in different words.
Okay.
Still Works in Brewing. Randy's in the house. Sorry I'm late. Don't worry about it. It ain't that big a deal, Bubba. We're glad you're here.
No. Come on, don't do it. Don't do it. I did it. Hold on, I got you here. Oh, okay. That was almost a catastrophe. And we're saved. Just wanted to take a little taste of this and see how it's developing.
All right.
Ooh, baby.
Good stuff.
Not bad. Not bad.
I think we're kind of getting a little clogged.
Well, our hose is at the...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So
yeah.
I think... lift her up just a hair, if you can, if it's not too much. There we go.
That's good. Ta-da!
Perfecto. Nice.
All right. So that thing's probably got, we probably could have taken a gravity reading just to see where it was, but didn't think about it.
I'll get us one real quick out of that bucket. There she is. Look at that.
Look at that beauty right
What
there.
a gorgeous little jug.
All right, set this on the shelf. Let her finish out. The Duke is saying good night. No more lurking. Keep it clean, boys. All right, brother. Looks a lot like my blueberry wine I need to bottle this weekend. Yeah, it does have a similar look to a blueberry, doesn't it?
Looks very blueberry-ish. Blueberry, blackberry. Man, I can't find my little,
What are you looking for?
my turkey baster.
No, that ain't it. I don't know. Don't know where it is, Bubba. When you rack to secondary, do you add more yeast? No. No need to add more yeast. All the yeast is still there. It'll just keep on working off.
Okay. Wash this out when we're done.
Don't forget where you put the jug. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Solzay.
There's a missing jug.
A sugar mash is like a wife, girlfriend. You never know what the result is until you've burned yourself 2 or 3 times. And some stepdaughters and sons who are today called bonus children. When does sugar mash become bonus?
What a hell of an analogy
I'm not even
there.
sure what all that meant. Scott says, what the heck?
They did donate. That is a donation.
What is, you got to clear this up for me in CS Play. I don't know what this means. Sugar, that's my girlfriend. You never know what the result is. I guess you're saying that sugar washes can be unpredictable, like sometimes they don't work off as easily.
Sugar mash is like a wife, girlfriend. You never know what the result is until you burn yourself 2 or 3 times. And some stepdaughters and sons who are today called bonus children. When does sugar...
Well, NCS Play, we certainly appreciate
What's that on
the
the end?
donation. That is awesome.
What's NOK 200?
It is some currency I'm not sure of, but it's roughly about $20 US
Is that
dollars.
North Korean currency?
Thank you.
I
Is
don't
that
know.
North Korean currency?
I'm gonna look into it.
I want that damn North Korean currency out of our chat.
Oh,
If so,
I'll take any currency.
I don't know that I believe in that NCS play.
Okay, yeah.
That is.
I don't know if I jive. What is it?
Jason says Norway currency. I recall earlier that
I'm sorry. Back up there for a minute. I had a little red wine blue moment, okay? I wouldn't try to go like full,
pretty sure, yeah.
I was feeling a bit American at the moment.
Are we cool with the Norwegians? I think we are, right?
Yeah, of course we
like
are.
them, right?
Of course we are.
We like them a lot.
Norway's great.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, to clarify, a sugar mash is unpredictable. Yeah, that's Monger.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
Monger from earlier.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, that NCS Play is Monger?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, the sugar mashes, I mean, sometimes they can get real finicky, hard to get fermented all the way out sometimes.
Like stepchildren.
And we are down to
Pretty low.
1.020. Where did we start on that one? 1.110? It was like 1010?
Yeah, it was like 1100, I think, right?
Yeah, so we started out 1.100 or higher. I don't remember exactly what it was. And we're down to 1.020. And that's in 7 days. So it's working off really good.
Feels like a waste to just throw that out, you know what I mean?
All righty.
All right. Let me go wash this out. Oh, wait, we're not getting our shine all pimented. Oh!
Randy says every is cool with Norway except Trump. I have no idea what
He
Trump
beefs
has
with like
against-
everybody. Ooh, baby.
Guys,
That's a
gotta
nice
mow.
smelling jar. I'll say that.
All right,
for it.
next jar's off. That is a very nice smelling jar. That is without a doubt going to be a keeper. We'll find out what jar number 3 is. Had to switch over to send a super chat. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate you for sure. The guesses are dropping in. 184, 191. Jar 1 was 187. Jar 2 was 189. Where? Oh, he's rinsing that out.
Looking for this.
Sai, I'm putting that paid comment down as an entry.
I like it.
All right, well,
Counts.
it'll at least pay for the shipping.
That's what I was just wondering about, what it would cost to send a still to Norway.
Ooh,
Yeah.
bonus thought. Yeah. All right.
Okay, we're in.
I'm pulling for you.
But yeah, we're
Yeah,
in.
cool little. I know that sending like a 6x12 by 9.5 inch package was like $80. So I don't know what a still will be, but also I think Mile Hi agreed to ship direct for us, so it's kind of not our problem.
Not our problem.
Not really our problem. I bet they, what do you
Hey,
think
Boo,
they say?
just to let you know.
Oh, we should call them once we get done and be like, hey, unexpected, a guy from Australia won.
All right, there you go. Got your bubbles. Let everybody get their guesses in.
Dude, that's so good.
Pyment's one of my favorites, for sure.
That's really good. And it's still kind of semi-sweet because it's at like 10 it's still got a little bit of sugar in there.
Yeah.
Adam, you want to take a little try of this? Not bad. It tastes delightful.
That's clean liquor.
Oh yeah.
Indeed,
Well,
it is.
What's crazy about it too is it's still like it's not clarified. It's real dirty. It's but it still tastes so good. It should.
Got a little fizz to it almost.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's the yeast. The yeast is still working.
Yeah, it's still got CO2 in it.
I like that.
That's really good.
I like that.
It's about what you expect, really. That is about what you expect. Jar number 3 was 188. So I don't know if anybody nailed that one or not.
Golly, dude. Get me up there.
Nobody did.
Get me up there.
World War II is my niche. I have read hundreds of books on it. Well, there are hundreds of books on World War II.
I like
that's
some
for
World War
sure.
II history.
What's that Gillis says about
Early onset Republican.
early onset Republican,
Yeah.
or getting into history?
You wake up one day and you're just getting really into World War II history. It's early onset Republican. You're not there yet, but it's coming.
Wait, you think it just happens overnight?
Creeps up,
Doesn't.
dude. Slow burn.
Where are you going to post the recipe to that? I can post it. I will. I'll go ahead and post it up on the members only content. I guess since
Super
you're a member
simple.
and you're asking. But that particular recipe, we did it last week. 6 gallons grape juice from the store.
Nope, not
Nope.
6. 3.
Yeah, I'm
6
sorry.
pounds of honey. Yeah, I see what you did there.
3 gallons of grape juice from the store. I don't remember if it was probably
Great value.
Great Value
Nothing-
Walmart brand.
Yeah.
6 pounds of honey, and we used the KB 11116 yeast because we were out of the EC 1118, which is what I would have used. Yeah, and that's it. It's that easy. It is one of my favorite, Lavlin, one of my favorite meads.
Yeah.
Just not many of them better than that.
I would agree with that, really. I mean, I think we've had a bunch of them, man. I don't know. That there was one that was, I'm trying to remember which one it was. There was one we did that I thought was like exceptional, and I can't really remember what it was, but that is easily,
It's my favorite.
jockeys back and forth for
Yeah.
1 or 2 for me. I mean, it's really good. I mean, it's not done yet, and you can look, I mean, right out of the primary fermenter, how cloudy and just musty that looks. And for it to taste how it does right now, I think is a pretty good indicator of this one's going to be really, really, really good when it's clarified and fully worked out. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. If you had StreamYard, I could show you. I'm burning even as we speak. I've passed 3 liters now, so it's in my heart. It's awesome. So you're making them run right along with us. Love it.
Love that. What yeast is preferred for all grain? Dwayne, you'll get a varying of opinions on that. I think that the one that we would give you is Daddy, dry active distiller's yeast. Just because it's super consistent, we've had very good luck with it. But there's guys out there that'll tell you some of the Firm Pro and some of the weird WPs and stuff that people just have preferences on.
Still Spirits makes a bunch of whiskey yeasts.
Yeah.
But Daddy yeast is, that's the go-to. So especially if you're new, just use some Daddy yeast. Start there, and you can experiment with your all grains with other yeasts.
Joe, did you get a mail call this week with my stickers? No.
We have not got one yet.
Or at least I haven't been
Now I'm
informed
looking
that
forward
we
to it.
have.
Nope.
So you're what,
I mean, I don't usually check the mailbox.
Oh,
Might
yeah.
have ended up in the mailbox.
We could go look.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say NCS play with the 10 gifted. Look at that.
Whoop, whoop.
Picked up a couple
Nice.
entries.
Nice.
This thing may be going to Norway.
Can you pitch the EC 1118 the same as Daddy yeast? Now, you pitch it the same as far as process, but
It's a smaller quantity.
EC 1118, yeah, it is a smaller
It's a
quantity.
half ounce as opposed to a full ounce per gallon.
The EC 1118 is more for fruits than grains. It does have a higher alcohol tolerance. If you're making a whiskey that has a higher alcohol tolerance, you might
18%.
do EC 1118. But Daddy yeast has an alcohol tolerance around 14.
Hey, and I was reading the other day on the package of 48-hour turbo yeast that it can work all the way up to 20%. Has anyone ever worked a mash with the 48-hour turbo and got it up that high? I didn't know if that was maybe
That's pretty wild.
a little advantageous marketing on their part or what. Brian Veal, look at that guy. He got a gifted. You know who Brian Veal is?
Brian Veal, no.
Brian Veal won the grain giveaway.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Nice.
Yeah, Brian, we were actually talking earlier today that we needed to try to reach out to you to see what grain kit you want for this. Is this the first month?
Yeah, we got to send him one for May. Is the
Yes.
first month.
Okay. Yeah.
If you wanted to mix the 2 yeasts, you could try that. I'm sort of a yeast
he may not be
whisperer. Nice. Yeah, I mix EC 1118 and Daddy if I'm doing a mountain brandy specifically.
Peach is my next run. Do you have to rehydrate EC before pitching? Is that the one you just read?
No,
Sorry.
you do not.
No. Now, there's, and I've thought about it, there is someone who I would consider to be much more intelligent than I am that comes and shops in here every once in a while. And he's predominantly a beer maker, but he is very into hydrating yeast.
Always hydrate.
He thinks that it helps the yeast culture out significantly in terms of lost yeast. When you hydrate that and goes from like porousy, dry, to prehydrated and elastic, the yeast, he believes, and I think is probably right, that it can tolerate a better environment. You got any opinions on that? I see you nodding along over there. You got a little chemistry background, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just makes sense. Any of those cultures, they don't go in dry whenever you're in the lab. Like they're always hydrated in some way.
Okay.
And he does it even to a point of like he calculates his parts per million.
Nice.
Like he's calculating the size of the colony to the billions.
That's pretty cool.
It's wild.
That's really cool.
And if you taste his beer, you're like, he knows exactly what he's talking about.
And here's the thing too, and this applies to all of us. That is an example of one thing that he does probably 20 of throughout his process, that any one of those things wouldn't make a noticeable difference. But when you compile all 20 of them together, there's a reason his beer is the best homebrewed beer I've ever had.
Yeah. He wins
All those little...
He wins every homebrew contest he enters.
He's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
He brings it up here. I know it's really good. It's always really good. But when he brings some up here, it's gone. Like, it's so good, dude. Like, if I had some... I'm not going to say his name, but if I had some... his brand beers that I could just go to the grocery store every once in a while and pick up, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
David,
AM1.
Kajvik Voss is good for split. I haven't tried that yet. I almost ordered some Kajvik though on our last order. I was thinking about doing it, but I didn't.
What's he mean by split
But
brand?
yeah,
It's
the
two-stage
problem.
fermentation?
The problem with his beer, if you bought it in the store, it'd be like $40 a bottle.
That'd be pretty expensive.
Because
All the time.
just the cost of him making it.
Yeah. I don't know. He's pretty thrifty at times too, though. I think I could be surprised by what he can produce a case for.
Well, yeah, sure. If his time isn't worth anything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I hydrate all of my yeast just to get the colony started. Yeah, a lot of people do it. I wonder if maybe that would be a pretty good experiment.
Well,
Two identical mashes, hydrated, non-hydrated, just see what happens.
it could be interesting. I mean, I think from the perspective that you would know visually if there was a difference, because one is going to finish working before the other. Like hypothetically, right? I'm not trying to throw a wrench in the whole scientific process here. My educated guess would be that the hydrated yeast would work off faster to some degree than the other. I don't know that.
Yeah.
That's just a good guess.
Yeah, I think it improves your efficiency in general of the yeast.
Yeah, I think you're just more of your yeast is going to survive.
Mud Grips and Moonshine, the shop number's 479-515-5223. I'll ask the Adam to type that into the chat.
Go ahead and say that again.
479-515-5223.
Dwayne Smith, what's a split brandy? That's just it's what we call a mountain brandy. It's when you mix grains and fruit to make a mash.
Richard. I used it in my 4-corn mash recently. It turned out wonderful.
Used it. Oh, the FPO one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard brought us some of that. I think there's some back there.
Yeah, we still got some of it.
Yeah. We should do a yeast experiment on just like a straight. Well, I don't know, because it's kind of tough too. There may be some yeast that lend themselves better to a sugar wash and some that lend themselves better to an all grain. So it'd be kind of hard to test, but it would be interesting to do like maybe like a series of two, like with the 2-gallon buckets, just like 2-gallon mash, 2-gallon mash, 2-gallon mash, and then work them with different yeasts. Like, so maybe like 3 yeasts, 3 hydrated, 3 non-hydrated, of the same yeast. And so where you've got like 6 gallons, and then you can just mix them all together and run them at the end or something.
Yeah. Just to see
like what's going to work off the fastest.
Just as a race.
Put them all in the same location, same, conditions, and yeah. The only problem too is sometimes I've seen people running these types of experiments on TikTok or YouTube, and I'm always curious because a lot of times what they're doing is they're taking out of the fermenter at various stages in the ferment, and I want to just, I don't know this, but I'm thinking the whole time like, hey, they're at different levels in that ferment. There's going to be different levels of starch suspended. There's going to be, you get down towards the bottom, right, where you have, any amount of settled sediment and sure, it's just kind of like.
You think it's not homogeneous?
Yes, that's the best way to say it. I mean, and I don't know what you do about that if you siphon out of out of a bucket as it's being mixed. Maybe I don't know, but I think about that. I don't know. I get in the weeds.
Right.
I'm thinking about these experiments, and I always try to like kind of pick them apart and be like, well, this isn't. Anyway, they're probably pretty good. They're probably pretty good at letting you know if there's any kind of difference. The way I've seen. But.
Joe says she likes mountain brandy is delicious. Scott agrees. I agree. I know Winsong agrees.
Make it 5. This guy.
Is refluxing the only way to clean up bad tasting shine? Not necessarily. You could double distill, triple distill. You could do it that way if your still doesn't have the ability to create like a real good forced reflux.
Also, you can post flavor with it.
And you can post flavor.
I mean, that's a common. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. If you're gonna post flavor something, and you have some that's like, oh, it's all right. Like it's not bad.
It's at the edge.
But it's just like,
yeah.
Just throw a bunch of flavor in there on top of it. Nobody will ever know.
Seriously says use USO1 beer yeast for that experiment. So USO1 is going to be a fermentous yeast. I don't know what the alcohol tolerance is for a USO1 yeast, but I'm guessing it's down around 6, right?
Yeah, I bet it's pretty low. Yeast is a rabbit hole. It absolutely is, Paul.
I don't even go down it really.
Yeah.
Like I know that hole is so deep, and like and there's lots of deep holes in this hobby, and that's just one of them I haven't really chosen to go down.
Yeah, that's one of them. What's another subject of distilling or winemaking or beer making that people get really kind of nerdy into? And it's just another example of a deep hole that you can spend a lot of time in, you think? There's another one I was thinking of the other day that people get really caught up in.
Well, I mean, you can get pretty tied up in what's the right word? The makeup of grains, proteins versus all the components of grains.
Dissect powers and things like that.
Yeah, you can get pretty wrapped up in that. Which is another example of, the beer guy we were talking about. He bought some 2-row malt from me. He asked me for some 2-row malt.
Yeah.
I gave him distiller's malt, and he brought it back. He's like, I looked up the protein content
much
of this.
protein.
Way too much protein. So
I think there's tons of like deep wells that you can just continuously drink from and weeds that you can get off into. But in terms of, I think, misconceptions, there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
And I have noticed here lately that there seems to be, in my opinion, a misconception about like doing an all grain mash from somewhat of a beginner or even an intermediate standpoint. I think it seems like it's a lot harder to do than it really is. And I think that it could be difficult depending on how you're trying to do it.
Yeah.
But I think if you do the alpha and the gluco, like when I'm explaining to people, I'm like, here's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that, yes, if you're brand new to distilling, am I going to encourage you to do an all grain and convert? No. Just do some sugar washes and run your still a little bit. And But I mean, on the all grain side of things and doing conversions, like I can see from the beginner standpoint, knowing what I knew at 17, running out under my patio, it would have been a different language to me.
Right.
I'm not going to get it. It seems like kind of unattainable. Like I'm going to leave that to some distillers and whatever. But knowing what I know about it now, it's crazy how easy it is to do.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That is a very common deal. People thinking it's way more difficult than it really is.
That and hydrometers, I think, are the two things that I see people, they're like, kind of got this mental block of like, I don't really understand that. I don't want to mess with them.
Yeah, well, look at it. It looks complicated.
It does.
know?
There's a lot of stuff on them.
Yeah. And
Proof and trail is pretty explanatory. You know that most people can use a proof and trail pretty well, but when it comes to a triple scale hydrometer, they don't. A lot of people don't really understand what it is that it does. And as soon as you tell them, like, oh, this just tells you how much sugar content you've got in a ferment.
that's all it does.
That's all it does.
It only does one thing. It
That's
has
it.
3 different scales, but it's only.
You can almost see the light click on.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh. And I'll explain to them, hey, you're typically going to start here, and then you come up here, and you're almost all the way worked down. And then I show them the potential ABV, or and I mean it's like two-minute conversation, and they're like, "Give me one of those."
Yeah.
Yeah.
NCS says, behind you, you have something I want. You have a reflux and pot still column in one. Is it possible to have it shipped as a DIY kit to Norway and not eBay shipping? Cost for us is cost for US in the north. Well, so this, I don't know if you caught the conversation a while ago, but you've been entered into a giveaway, and this still is one of them that we're giving away, or a brand new one like it. If you want to check it out, you can go to the Mile Hi Distilling website, this is a Mile Hi Distilling still. We're giving one away this month. And so, anyway, I don't know anything about the shipping, and quite honestly, it has to be Mile High's idea about the shipping.
Yeah.
Because they're the one that's going to do the shipping. They're the ones that are donating the still to give it away. So that we'll see.
I could ship you an Alembic, but I don't have any idea on what that would cost. I would assume it would be maybe even possibly as much as the still itself, which it seems like at that point. And I'm not trying to discourage you from buying anything from us or from Mile Hi, but it may be more cost effective for you to look into something, closer over there. And if you just don't have that option, or there's some kind of legality, something to it, hit us up.
We can figure something out.
Shoot us a message, depending on what you find out. Dwayne Smith says the lingo confuses me at times.
Yeah, and I did create a glossary.
What a great word.
When I first started building the website, because that's a common thing when you're talking to a beginner and you start using the correct terms, you just they're like, what? Like you're speaking a different language right now.
And I don't blame them.
But the glossary is a free download. You can go to stillintheclear.com, and I think on the homepage there's somewhere where you can just sign up to get the glossary. It's free download. It's like 70 something different terms and the way we use them. Igor R. received a gift membership from KRB 331. Whoop whoop. That was a lingering little gift. Yeah.
What happened?
Someone just received a gift from KRB. He bought them, I don't know when it was. It is the top of the hour. You guys can drop your guesses in. I'm not going to proof this until we come back. But it's top of the hour. We are going to go to intermissions. Looks like Zach is going to start working on swapping out that water because it's getting pretty hot. And we'll be back. Well, we're 9 days away.
9 more days.
9 days away from giving away one of these bad boys.
I've never been so excited to
Pretty awesome.
give something away.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm jacked up about it, man. Yeah. Dual Purpose Pro, running it again this week. Getting close to the end of the giveaway, and I'm excited. We're going to run a neutral spirit this week.
Yeah, we got our bucket, what is that, 6 gallons-ish right there of Feints. We're going to clean them up. This also includes the catastrophe from last week.
It's all in there. I forgot about that.
We're going to clean that up.
I deleted that from my mind. Haven't thought about it since right now.
Right. So Yeah, that's what we're going to be running tonight. We're going to make some neutral spirits out of it. We are going to be running this still with all of its components in its full glory to see how high proof we can make and get some neutral spirit.
Got any guesses?
Give
Give me the high jar. Give me the high jar.
192. 192 is the top.
Give me 193. Give me 193.
Okay.
Let's see.
Right. Also, I want to give another shout out to Mile Hi for letting us do this. They are the ones giving this still away. We're doing it together, but what a bunch of cool cats over there, because
just good people.
And they've been around forever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been in the moonshining world for a while, you've heard their name already.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about the versatility. Here's all the parts for this still, the way we're going to run it tonight. And here's another cool part about this still, right? We talk about the versatility. It even has more versatility, because let's say you got this 8-gallon.
Whoa. More versatility?
Right.
How could that be?
No, for real. Because you've got this 8-gallon. Let's say they also have a 16-gallon.
Oh, yeah.
A 26-gallon.
Okay.
A 53 or 56-gallon.
Jeez.
And all you have to do is upgrade the pot, because that opening is the same opening.
Oh, so you mean like the column and everything, the cap will fit on all the other corresponding bigger pots?
All the other pots.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's pretty slick too. It just makes upgrading so much easier.
Well, it would be cool to pretty much have one complete system. You change out the pot on it, and then you're running, big mashes, or you're running a test mash or a brandy or something.
Yeah.
Or
cool. If you're doing a double distillation, you can run the 26-gallon.
Oh,
do a stripping
strip all
mash,
the yeah.
And then it all fits in the 8-gallon.
Damn, I never thought about it that way. That is pretty cool.
So that's what we're doing tonight, and we're going to drop a link down in the chat tonight for Mile Hi, and you should just go over there, check them out.
I'm surprised by some of the stuff they've got on their website. Like, it's not just stills over there. They got some cool stuff.
They've got a ton of crap. They've got something over there you need. Let's go show them some love. Go over there and find something. Ton of crap. Yeah. I mean, you need some yeast, some turbo, some they've kind of got their own brand of turbo.
They're knowledgeable folks too. I mean, so outside of them just having that distillery and kind of being in line with the moonshining community, they're very knowledgeable.
Right.
You can tell by talking to Boo and what's that other cat's name over there?
Noah. Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
So that's what we're doing tonight.
We got a rack of Pyment too.
We are going to rack a Pyment.
We're going to rack a Pyment. What else we got going on? Just a lot of tomfoolery, just general shenanigans, just a good time.
Yeah.
Probably going to be drinking some of our favorite beers, and then also, if we didn't mention it already, we have proof down what you're about to watch me pour in here. We proofed our Feints down to 38. Probably 38, something like that. I got a little under 40, and
so if you want to go ahead and start pouring that in, we are going to be with you in the live shortly. Can't wait to see you. Let's have some fun.
Meet your maker, Sean.
And we are back. So Zach is refreshing our water because it's kind of hot. I have proofed this jar. Holler at me if you need me for anything, Zach.
I think I got her.
All right. I already proofed it. I'm going to shake it. Igor says, appreciate it. Have been binge watching your channel for the last 7 days and just completed my first grain mash. Waiting for it to cool down before I add my yeast. I'm going to try out the Turbo 48 hours. Hell yeah. I'm glad you are getting something from our content, brother. Appreciate it. And this jar has come out to oops, I wrote that wrong. 189. So bounced back up, went down to 188, now it's up to 189. Nobody got it. Rick got it. Now.
Nobody knows the trouble
It just
I've
popped
seen.
up. All right. That was one of the questions I had because Still in the Clear says 0.5 tablespoons per 5 gallons. So good to know that I need to use the whole packet. Yeah, for the turbo yeast, it's a whole pack for 6 gallons, I think is what it says, but you can do it in 5. Half a tablespoon per 5 gallons is for a daddy yeast. Half a tablespoon, half an ounce, something like that per 5 gallons for daddy yeast. That's not the same. All yeasts are different. They're all going to have their different dosage. So anytime you're using a new yeast, be sure and follow the manufacturer's recommendation. Got 45 people in the chat on one YouTube and 4 people over on TikTok. Thank you guys for being here. We're at jar number 4 on this Feints run. We're not going to get finished with it tonight. We'll have to let it run tomorrow also to finish it out. Turbo yeast is like a regular yeast with a lot of nutrients. Yeah. Baker's yeast and 2 cans of tomato, leek, and mashed banana, and a little baking soda. Interesting. Uncle Moonshine in the house. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, we did a 24-hour yeast, and it was basically runnable in 24 hours. It was down to 1.001, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it was actually, for it to completely finish out, it was actually like 25 hours, but that's pretty dadgum fast. Igor, I wouldn't use both. If you're using the 48 hour, I wouldn't bother with the daddy. You're gonna be fine with just the 48 hour yeast. I have heard a lot of people talking about that they don't like the off flavors that turbo yeast does and the off smells. I don't have a ton of experience with turbo yeast other than we did just do that 24-hour one recently. I've got a video on it that's not out yet. But I didn't notice any difference in the flavor on that one at all. Or on the smell. Have we ran that yet? That 24-hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I haven't noticed any difference in the flavor or the smell. Always. What are you starting with then? 1040? NCS, I don't know if you're talking to me. That 24-hour, if you're asking about the 24-hour turbo that I did, it was at 1065-ish.
Moonshine.
Dwayne says, I know flavors are likened to bee holes, so how much does yeast affect smoothness?
Sorry, can we read that one more time?
Why? You heard me.
I'm not sure that I did.
Bee holes.
Where's it at?
Missed it. Did it disappear?
I think you got taken.
It got taken down? Okay. I don't think the yeast affects smoothness. I think your grain choices and your sugar choices, how you blend it, I think all of that has way more to do with smoothness. Even aging.
Yeah, those.
Now, yeah, Whiskey Rebel says the 48 hour smells like sulfur. Yeah, I said there wasn't I didn't notice a smell different. No, the 24 hour yeast did have a bad smell, but it didn't distill, like it didn't come through on the distilling, but it did smell bad.
Yeah, it's going to be loud for like 2 seconds. And then it's not.
When using turbo, I'll mash in on the weekend, run the following weekend. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Mark Morgan, he says he thinks it ends up tasting like yeast. I didn't notice that myself. Looks like Zach's peeing in the water. I mean, nobody said he wasn't. You about got her, Bubba?
I think we got her shoved out there.
I mean, I was going to say before you started all that, I think I'm ready to just shut her down.
Oh, that's fine. At least it won't be somewhat cooler tomorrow.
Yeah. Igor says, thank you for the tips, everyone. Love to learn. We'll use the 48 hour on this mash, run it, then try out the daddy for the next mash and wait the 14 days before distilling. And it may not even take 14 days. There's a lot of variables that determine how long a ferment lasts. So, Igor, did you jump over there and join the Moonshine for Beginners group? Daddy yeast at 1084 fermented in 5 days, my last mash. Yeah, so one thing about the daddy yeast, it does like warmer temperatures. So if you're in a warmer climate, daddy does extra well.
Daddy loves warmer climates.
I meant if you added yeast to turbo, it tastes like it. Oh, okay, gotcha. Scott says Adam's doing a great job tonight. Yes, he is.
What are you trying to say about all the other nights?
There's a recipe for making moonshine from horse droppings. Alrighty. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass on that recipe.
There's a recipe for what?
Making moonshine from horse droppings.
Sounds great.
Yeah, the 48-hour turbo is very rapid.
A manure mash, if you would.
Fleischmann's is slow and has a very low alcohol tolerance. Turbo yeast, the 48-hour turbo yeast has like an 18% alcohol tolerance, where Fleischmann's has like a 9% alcohol tolerance. Turbo yeast is for sugar. If you spend money on corn or different grains, you use yeast for that purpose. And a lot of people share that view, NCS, that you just use turbo yeast to make a neutral spirit with some sugar or something like that. But I don't know, the 24-hour one we did, it came out good.
Yeah, and I think too, like a big consideration on the turbo yeast is for guys that, they've got busy schedules or they're chasing kids around on the weekend to go to different events or something like this. And a lot of times what we hear is someone wants to start something on like a Wednesday or Thursday if they work out of town and they still want to be able to run it on like Saturday. And so I think for that consideration, for a guy that's under kind of a time crunch, like it's a really nice tool, I'll say.
Uh-huh. And thanks again, SCS, for the donation. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you, brother.
Igor, no, where is this beginner group at? Would love to join. Yeah, so if you look 2 comments above you, Winsong posted the Moonshine for Beginners group.
And below
She
you.
also posted it below you. There's a link there. Just click that link, sign up. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's the best group on the internet for learning how to make moonshine.
Whoa, that's a lofty, pretty high praise there. I'd have to say I agree. Though.
Bold statement.
It's a bold statement, but it's not
a bold
wrong.
statement. I've been in a lot of moonshine groups.
That's true. Circle around on the ones on Facebook. Like, you should join some of the other Facebook groups too, and just go read some comments. It's just a guy, like, I don't know why they allow it. I don't know, but you'll see a guy posting on there, and he's like, hey, this is my first, like, sugar mash. He's telling you it's his first mash.
Yeah.
And someone will get in there and be like, why don't you figure it out? Why don't
Google
you just
it.
run it? And I'm just like, dude, what are you talking about? Like,
Well, and honestly, too, there are some Facebook groups over there where people really try to, moderate them, but it's just like there's just too many pricks over on Facebook. Honestly, there's just too many pricks over there.
Like, why don't you learn it how I did? I figured it out.
Yeah.
That's
why
all
don't you
the.
make a few hundred runs and then answer your own question. It's like, dude, this is
What are we
just
doing this for?
Come on, man. What are you talking about? This is moonshine, dude. We're
Yeah.
here to help other people.
And I will, I'm not trying to down on the Facebook groups. I'm really not, because there are a couple of them
there
that
are
are
good
good.
ones, yeah,
There are a couple of them that I like.
Yeah.
But I still think the Moonshine for Beginners group on MeWe is by far the best one.
It's a great place. Great place.
Mudgrip says, I was under the impression that this is the best place to learn how to make moonshine. Cyrus needs to recant. Well,
This isn't a group, though. We're
Yeah,
talking exclusively of groups.
yeah.
This is the best live show probably to learn.
And here's the good thing about the Moonshine for Beginners that's better than the Still in the Clear YouTube channel. Every day, all day, you jump in there, you ask a question, you get an answer.
Yeah.
Usually within 15 minutes, someone's going to jump in there and answer, or you're going to get a lot of answers. Even at night, you'll still get an answer pretty quick, because there's people like the Duke who's over in the UK. It's a great place to go ask your questions and get your answers.
Oh, that's cool. Bootlegger, 2 months. This is my membership milestone.
Hell yeah! This is got your
You
new
switched
color.
over in the live like you were dark at the beginning of the live, and now you're red? That's pretty cool.
That's pretty slick. Hell yeah! You got your new badge to signify 2 months in. Love it.
Lynn says, I've learned a lot from you guys, and I thank you. Lynn, we thank you, brother. You and your buddies in the chat like you are the whole reason that we do this, and the only reason we can do this. If it wasn't, if there was nobody watching this, we wouldn't be doing it. So
Yeah.
it's pretty reciprocal, man.
Yeah, Dwayne says not a group, but a family of helpers, which is really true. It does just kind of feel like a family over there.
Yeah.
And Winsong is saying STC and MFB go in hand, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but when we created STC, we did MFB at the same time. And so, yeah, MFB is just kind of like a subsidiary of Still in the Clear.
Yeah, it's more so less the chat board. It's a lot of the people that you see here in the chat that we kind of hang out with every day in the members only lives, and every Thursday. And so it's a lot of the same helpful folks over there. It's a cool place. Cool
Yep.
place.
58 viewers in the Still in the Clear.
Awesome. Yeah, we're at,
Hell yeah.
looks like 63 viewers across all our platforms. We want to thank you. Appreciate you watching from wherever you're watching from and putting up with our shenanigans and our banter. This has been way more of an informative. We haven't had as much shenanigans in this live.
A lot more questions, a lot more Q&A going on.
Give me an Indian burn.
Why would you like that?
I just was trying to, I don't know. When's the last time you had a good Indian burn? I was probably about 9.
I don't know, but I'm glad it was the last one.
Yeah, my sister had really fine-tuned. She was 3 years older than me, and she had really fine-tuned.
Figured it all out.
Oh, dude, yeah. I love her. We're adults now. We get along a lot better than we did when we were children.
It says, normally I'm a YouTube troll, but here I won't troll because common interests and experience can make us better in the hobby, but not as people.
Is that money every time he's doing that?
Yeah.
Brother,
NCS, thank you very much.
Dude, we appreciate it, man, but like at a certain point, man, I don't want you sending us all your money, man. I mean, We appreciate the support and stuff, but like,
No, it's okay.
He's like, what?
No, it's fine.
Are you saying I don't have any money? Like,
no,
what?
dude, I just don't
No,
want. I don't know.
Don't listen.
All right.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah, no, I agree with you though. NCS, the common interests and experience are very good for the hobby. I decided to hang out and watch instead of hanging out with the in-laws, so that should say something.
Round of
That's right.
applause, Ray. Good choice. Good choice.
And that's another thing too. The folks in our family, like they've got their priorities right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're skipping work.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like calling in sick to not miss
Shuck
the
your
big things.
responsibilities. Hang out with us.
SNTC is the place to be. Hell yeah.
Igor said, I applied to the beginners group on MeWe. When did you get approved? Thank you. I definitely will be asking questions there. Yeah. I bet
I bet you're already approved.
your application will be approved expeditiously. Something tells me there is one wind song going over there right now.
She's already checking you out.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Yeah, this has been a nice little live tonight. Lots of Q&A. I like that.
A lot of fun. Yep.
Hopefully we've got a new member over there in the MFB group. Igor, also, you were gifted a membership. If you look down on your emojis, you'll see we have custom emojis, and one of them is the MFB emoji. So you can just start slapping that in the chat anytime you want.
Mm-hmm.
Always entertaining. Thank you, Sir Dig Dug.
Sir Dig Dug.
So Cyrus
Great
8.
name.
So Cyrus 8. Don't know. Don't know. There's the MFB emoji. Richard's dropping it in there. Paul's dropping it in there. Rob Staggs is dropping it in there.
We should make an MFB shirt.
I actually have an MFB shirt that I don't even know if it's for sale, but I made it. You remember the old shirt? I don't know if they still do it, but it's like property of Yale, property of this.
Yeah.
I made the same style, property of MFB.
That's good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I need to order me one. I never even ordered one. I just made the shirt.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool though. Or we could make one, MFB is the place to be. It's a pretty common little slogan in the chat a lot. Just got here. I'm sitting on a nice porch overlooking the mountains in East Tennessee. Hell yeah, Flatland. Glad you made it. Wind song gotcha, Igor. You are in the group, my man.
Paul's got an MFB hat.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
Some throwback merch.
Let's see. Got Wind Song's letting Igor know. She got you. Latest member to the Moonshine for Beginners.
Love that.
Yeah, so Igor, I don't know if you are familiar with MeWe. It does take a little bit to kind of learn the navigation of it, but once you do, you'll like it. There's a files section over there with tons of recipes. There's a ton of stuff over there. It'll take you forever to go through it all.
Whiskey Rebel said, I already designed a new t-shirt for you, Zach.
Oh no.
I can't stop designing shirts that in some way incorporate a coonpecker. I don't know what that says about me, but I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was talking about, I think it was Whiskey Rebel talking about putting your face on a shirt. And what was it, Adam? You were.
I think it was something about monkey business.
Oh yeah, put your face on a shirt and it says monkey business. That's what it was.
Something like that.
Yeah.
A crudely, what's that photoshopped image of me on top of like a George the chimpanzee.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just got George the
Mason
George
jar
the
in this hand.
chimpanzee by the
George,
neck.
yeah.
Yeah, you could really do a lot with that.
Oh God. My record is bouncing 32 quarters in a row. Where did that come from?
He's talking about the quarters game.
Oh yeah, 32 in a row is crazy. I played some quarters in my day.
It's not
Back
a
in
problem.
college, 32 in a row, not a
You
problem.
throwing a gauntlet down right
Hey,
now?
I'm telling you. Now, it's been a long time. I
A
don't
little
know.
rusty.
But you know how, I don't know how you guys played it, but if you made 3 in a row, you made a rule. Is that how y'all did it?
We never played quarters.
We played.
Oh, okay.
We we played quarters sporadically, but we didn't. We never. I don't ever remember making a rule or anything like that.
Oh, well, you guys
I
did.
saw it played,
No wonder you
but
didn't
I-
play very often. You weren't playing it in any fun ways.
Yeah.
So if
yeah.
you make 3 in a row, you
You-
get to make a rule. And the rule can be
Anything.
any, like,
Give some
for example,
examples.
I'm
Yeah.
thumb master.
Yeah,
You know
every
what's a thumb
time.
master?
Yeah, every time
Okay.
you put your thumb
So,
on the table.
yeah.
I've heard of thumb
Last one
master.
to
Yeah.
put their thumb
When-
on as a drink. Yeah.
When people would be playing me, usually their first rule would be Cyrus can't make any more rules. Because I could just make rule after rule. Like I could knock them
That's
down.
targeting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Use Zach's bikini pics.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Washita. Depending on where you're from in the country. I don't know why it burns me up.
I used to work, like, briefly in college. I worked at a bait and tackle store.
Yeah.
Awesome place. Like, I love, you know, this year's, it's this, but it was on a part-time basis, and I'm just talking, like, lures with guys
Right.
and guns and
Talk
different
fishing,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Yeah, yeah. And every now and then we'd get an out-of-towner coming in, and they'd be coming down here to fish, and we're like, I don't know, hour 45 north of Washita Lake, and they'd come in. You could pick them off from a mile away. Like, hey, where are you fishing? And they're like, I'm gonna go down to Wichita, and I'm like, it's not. Don't say it that way.
It's not how we
Everyone will hate you, and they don't even know you yet.
Right.
Besides Lawless, name some other moonshine-themed movies.
Movies? No, so not
Well, there's a
shows?
lot of shows. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with, like, the Boardwalk Empire, and that's more of a bootlegging type
Yeah.
show anyway, but
Peaky Blinders. Not really about moonshine, though. Just had moonshine stuff
There's
in
another
it.
one that I was thinking about the other day. Dukes of Hazzard.
It's a good question.
Windsong's just in there hooking people up with moonshine for beginners. Doing her thing. Windsong is very heavily involved with the moonshine for beginners.
Man, it's just really crazy for as high proof as that stuff is, man, that it's smelling that good.
Yeah.
Also, just kind of for the newcomers, or if you're new to distilling, this is all Feints. So this is the heads and tails that you cull out of your run, and we got it in there and proofed it down, and we're rerunning it now. And like I'm telling you, this is gonna make a lot of good liquor.
Yeah.
So that's why we're a big proponent of keeping that stuff and doing a second distillation on it. And in this case, we're going to do a high proof neutral spirit, which in my opinion, I think is the best thing you can do with your Feints. But yeah, just food for thought for you guys that maybe don't do that, or
Yeah, if you don't do it, you should definitely try to do it. And I don't know, like, if you don't have a way to make a neutral spirit, you know, you would have to, like, triple distill it, but you can still get good liquor from it. Wow, look at those bubbles disappear. Wow. Jar number 5.
I want someone to make us a clock that at the top of every hour and on the half hour, there's a jar of moonshine that it kind of like oscillates, like just shakes up, gets some bubbles. Like a cuckoo clock, but for
Right?
distillers.
I like that.
You know, I don't know.
I like
I
that.
don't know. I'm just talking out loud.
I like that.
By the way, I throw these ideas out randomly for all these little gadgets. We've talked about the metal hydrometer. We've talked about the moonshine cuckoo clock. If anyone wants to run with these, I'm more than willing for you to do that. Just get back a little bit,
Jar number 5 came out to 188. So still hanging in there strong with this run.
Strong, man.
Which is very common on a Feints run, or on a very common, Trickster got the 188. Very common on
I like that.
a run where you are using your deflagmator and you're forcing a lot of reflux. Your proof is going to be high and it's going to stay steady for a long time. And then it's just going to kind of fall off quick at the end, as opposed to, a regular pot still run where every jar is kind of dropping just a little bit. A reflux run doesn't typically do that.
Have we've told them about some of the people coming to the festival, right?
We've mentioned sometimes some of them. I don't know who we have or have not mentioned.
So, for any of you guys that are watching, Mark and Digger, I'm sure most of you are aware of who that is from the show Moonshiners. They're going to be out here at the Shine On Festival. And then also Moonshiner Big Chuck, recent development. He's going to be coming out here. He's bringing some kind of huge truck and promoting his
new distillery,
his business. Yeah, he's got a new distillery he's opened up. So shout out to Big Chuck. I don't know, in the grand scheme of things, if we're ever going to clip any video out, maybe we give a big shout out to Moonshiner Big Chuck and God, let me clean this up. Hold on.
Moonshiner Chuck.
I really want to clean. Yeah, well, I got Moonshiner Chuck, but so we've got Mark and Digger and Moonshiner Big Chuck coming out to the Shine On festivals. Big shout out to those guys. Glad that they're going to be able to come out here and make it, and I hope that you can too. But I don't think that's the end of the, master distiller types and moonshiner show type people that we're going to have out here. We're working on getting some more. So if you like those guys and you want to maybe possibly come out here and meet them, we hope you do.
Hell yeah.
That was an exciting development this week, and
Chuck coming in.
I'd never talked to Chuck before, but man, he seems like such a nice guy, man.
Yeah,
good dude. White Lightning with Burt Reynolds. Never seen that. I love Burt Reynolds, and I do love me some White Lightning. I gotta imagine that when you put the two together, it's just
Smokey and the Bandit. We didn't even call that one out.
They're running beer though.
They are running beer.
Yeah, they're just running a tractor trailer of beer.
Yeah,
I'm not hating on that type of activity.
Yeah.
But
Scott, yes, October 4th, first Saturday of October, Shine On Festival.
You're reckless. That would be cool if we could license that song. Bandit, you're reckless.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry, what is it? Jerry Neal? Jerry Neal sing that? Jerry
Reed?
Jerry Reed.
Reed.
God dang, Jerry Neal. That's a barbecue joint over here.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Sorry about that.
Crossed some wires there.
I don't mean to disrespect the great and powerful, wise Jerry Reed like that. Sorry about that.
Well, Sir Dig Dug, it'd be awesome if you'd make it. That would be sweet to shake your hand when you got here, brother.
Yeah, I hope you come out. I also like every time you say his handle.
Sir Dig Dug?
Yeah.
Am I saying it wrong, or is it
No,
just a cool
I'm just
handle?
no. I just like it.
I mean, it makes me think of the old arcade game. I don't know if that's
Dig Dug, yeah.
Surely that's what it is.
Gotta be.
Kind of like saying, "Hey, listen, I'm the Dig Dug master." So
Used to run
Call
some
me Sir Dig
quarters
Dug.
around the old arcade. Don't know if you knew that about me.
hustled a little bit
Yeah.
back in the day on the arcade.
Yeah.
Big Galaga guy from a person.
Galaga.
Love
Yeah.
Galaga.
Probably that's my top 3 favorite arcade game, like old school arcade games.
Yep.
I don't know if you consider Mortal Kombat an old school arcade game.
I mean, is
It was
Alice in
kinda
Chains
similar.
classic rock?
It's still in the era. I mean,
I think so.
Right.
I was pretty young playing it.
Answers your question.
Same time frame.
Well, it's like as we go forward, these things become retro or classic.
Time marches on.
Yeah.
Time marches on.
Yeah. My first new vehicle is now a classic.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1990 Chevy Silverado.
Right.
You know, it's now a classic.
Dude, I'm coming up on damn 60 years old and the old 68 C20.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Still chugging along.
Dang,
We
Castlevania.
got some Pac-Man fans, Tempest fans.
Come on. Mud grips. That's a good one.
Harry says I played Pong once.
Tempest.
I played Pong too. It was our first game we had in the house. Beep. The paddle was just this little turn thing.
Dang, you had one of those. So.
Pong, yeah,
Nice.
the first one.
Dude, and people were eating that up when it came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
don't
cool.
blame them too, because it was like,
Oh, Ray.
what is this? You know what I mean?
It was like
Ray's hitting on it for me right there
Yeah.
with Zelda. I spent many hours as a 12-year-old playing Zelda.
You remember on old Nokia phones, like the old Nokia phones, it's a snake game on there?
oh yeah.
You ever, oh
remember
man,
that.
dude. My
For
dad
sure.
had one of those. And I remember like I'd be kicking it with my dad and I'd be like, hey, can I play on your phone for a little bit? And then it's just like 2 hours later, I'm black and white, keypad and snake, fill up the screen. I remember the first time I filled the screen up, beat the game.
Right.
I was like, I'm pretty dope right now. Like this is
I could probably quit school.
yeah, dude.
Like, I
I
don't
should
need
do
to-
that. I don't know. Like I should do this professionally. Maybe I was
I'm
thinking
gonna
like,
take this on the road.
because I thought like you beat the game. Like that's no one else is really throwing those kind of numbers up.
Right.
And then I think my dad got a little jealous almost, and
All
like
night
he started
skates?
playing that game
Hell
a
yeah,
bunch.
Scott.
And then I specifically remember like 2 or 3 nights later, he like I remember he was like playing the game and then he like flipped it over to me, like filled the screen up, and I was like, whatever, dude,
Whatever.
nerd.
Scott brings up the all-night skates. Those were pretty cool.
What
I
is
did
it?
that when I was a kid. Skating rink would be open all night.
Oh, really?
Just go stay all night.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You call your parents the next morning, collect, and when it says collect call from, you go, we're ready, and you hang up. So they don't have to pay for the call.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I should have been born in like maybe like late 70s, like early 80s, because I would.
That is
some
awesome.
shit like that.
Yeah. That's how you told your parents.
That's
it was
like a
time to
little
go get 'em.
Awesome.
It's
dude.
like paging them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how we're ready.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, just from the payphone.
You have
with
a
the
collect call
skate
from-
rink.
Come get us.
I love that.
That's sick, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. I used to be a big fan of a nice skating rink. We had Crystal Palace over here.
Mud Grips is throwing in some Mortal Kombat shit up there for you. Up, down, left, right, AB.
That sounds.
NCS Play says, when investing in copper, how do you know it's 99 plus copper when you check for yourself? Nobody looks into that kind of thing. I mean, most of the still builders around here, like the big name still builders, are very reputable people, and they're buying. I mean, they're giving you what they're selling you.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's a non-factor over here. Just it's too hard to ruin a reputation, or it's too easy to ruin a reputation, and those guys work pretty hard at what they do.
The Moonshine cheat code.
Coon hunting all night was our game. I used to love a good deer camp. There was nothing better than when you were like old enough to where it's like you're 14 or 15, but you've got a buddy that can drive or
Yeah.
a cousin that can drive.
Yeah.
And you just like go camp out. And man, I remember like the first couple times I did that, I was like, this is allowed. Like we are just able to do this.
Is this is freedom?
Why is anyone living in a home? I remember thinking that as like 15, 16-year-old, like why don't people do this?
Next time your dad says, I put a roof over your head, you go, yeah, why?
Why'd you do
Why'd
that?
you do that?
For what, dude? Ever been camping? Delightful.
Yeah. I mean, we did it at like 9 and 10. We'd be camping. Now, I lived where we didn't have to drive to go camp. Like
Yeah. Walk into the woods.
the farmer owned 1,000 acres, you know, we could just go out there and camp. And we would camp. It was like nice because we'd be close enough to the house where we could go camp for 2 or 3 days and still go back to the house to grab some
rations.
bacon.
Yeah.
Get some bacon and eggs.
Yeah. I specifically remember at like 9 or 10, there were some twins that lived down the road from me and a couple other neighborhood kids. And there was this guy that lived in between all of us that had, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15, 20 acres, something like that. And we would like walk down his driveway a ways. And then we just like pretty much took it upon ourselves to build this giant encampment.
Hell yeah.
Think about like 6 little kids just working their tails off like 8, 9 hours a day for like a few weeks.
Have you seen the TikTok kids doing that?
Yes,
Yeah,
dude, they're
that's
getting like
sweet.
donations and stuff. But we were doing that on this guy's property. He was a doctor,
And I remember one of us was like noticeable from his driveway. And I remember he stopped and came up the hill where we were doing all this.
Yeah.
And I just remember him walking up and going like, wow, you boys have been like working. I'm like, been doing this for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
I don't know how he felt about it, but he was like cool with it. He was just letting us, he was like, yeah, have fun.
Right.
What a guy.
NCS is asking, how do you know it's not Chinese copper you're buying? I mean, I wouldn't know. I have no idea. I don't know how anyone would know, honestly.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Mudgrip says by the price.
I almost made an insensitive joke, but I'm not going to.
Whisper it to me.
Playing war with the old 760. Hell yeah, we all did that. Yeah, you tell your buddies only 2 pumps, and everybody's back in the bushes going.
Yard darts, dude. Yeah. Yard darts used to be huge, man.
Yeah.
I remember my dad brought some home one time. He's like, dude, you're about to be doing this for hours. I remember he brought it home and I just didn't really get it. So I just was like, I'm going to be in the hospital.
I've never played with them.
Yeah.
I've never even seen them in person.
Yeah.
Playing chicken with yard darts.
Mm-mm.
Oh, goodness. Well, 7:42. How long you guys want to go tonight?
Let's finish this jar off and then wrap it.
Going to finish this jar. Gotcha. Sounds good.
Could be 10 minutes, could be 45. I don't think it'll be 45.
I don't think
it'll
it'll
be
be 45.
20-ish minutes. Probably like right at 8.
Yeah, 8-ish. Well, that was a nice little discussion about the good old days when we were kids doing dumb shit.
Yeah. Give me that jar number 5 right there.
I'm shocked at how not harsh this smells. Are you?
No, it's really pretty good.
I'm not.
I mean, it's obviously very high proof because you do get a little
Sure.
burn on your nose
Sure.
when you're smelling it, but it's not bad at all.
Wonder if she's gonna draw water. We're gonna find out.
NCS Play with another 50, man. Thank you very much. Go, go, go is all it says. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that'll draw every bit of the water out of your mouth.
Yeah.
That's 188 proof, all right.
Yeah, I'm not drinking it.
I never understand the guys that, like, we see them come in every once in a while and they're like, man, I want that.
I like that better.
I want that 180, 190. And I'm like, do you?
Nah. What
Or
happened?
has someone been giving you
Yeah.
120 and they told you?
And they
it was-
told you. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what's
190.
happened. Nobody wants 180. About to just drink.
That is rocket fuel, my boy.
Yeah. Trickster, so do you lose ABV when you shut down the still in the middle of the run? You do not lose ABV. Everything that's in the pot stays in the pot. What you do lose is energy because you got to heat that pot back up, so you lose the time.
It's an inefficiency of propane
Yeah, and
or electric or whatever.
and you are going to create a situation where you're going to have another heads cut,
True.
but you're not going to lose any ABV. Scott says, growing up in the 70s and 80s was such a great time. Would not trade it for youth. Man,
It sounds badass.
it was a great time, honestly. Like I look at how kids have to live today, and it's not their fault that, we ran amok and nothing happened to us. And I just don't know that you can trust the world that way nowadays,
Nope.
But we would ride to town on our bicycles. It was crazy.
Obviously, the internet and cell phones and electronics and stuff are very, very, very important to like what we do. So I'm not saying that I wish we could just get rid of them because it's a
Yeah, me neither.
big part of what we do.
Yeah.
But I do wish that I could take like a 2-week vacation somewhere where they just don't have cell towers, they don't have any Wi-Fi, they don't have any of that, and just kind of bro out with everybody for a couple weeks and just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, I think you would have to be more than 2 weeks because it would take them 2 weeks to figure out what to do. Like it'd be like the first week would be my internet's out.
So we just tell each other what time and place we're gonna meet up, and then we just do that.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
I
mean, it would be. There's that bit that comedian has talking about a kid comes up to him saying, "I'm bored." He goes, "You're on an iPad while you're on a hoverboard."
Yeah.
You don't know what bored is.
Yeah.
You don't have a clue.
I do remember as a younger kid feeling like a strong feeling of boredom. You know, don't have a phone. There's no computer at the house. There's nothing like, well, my mom has a computer, but she's a transcriptionist, right? She's just like typing with it. Like there's no, you know what I mean?
Nothing to do on it.
It wasn't until I was about like maybe 7 or 8 or 9 or so that, I don't know, like 3rd grade is the first time I remember going on a computer at school. They got us on a computer, and I think it was typing and doing like basic web searches, like teaching you how searches on the internet work. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking in 3rd grade, like, oh, that's kind of cool. And just kind of not really understand.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there and going like, I don't really get this. Like, I don't know. And then it was just, 3rd grade on, it's just part of your life.
Yeah, I remember being in like the 7th and 8th grade, and my dad telling me this internet thing is a fad, And I'm like, I don't think so.
What?
It seems like a massive technological development, Dad.
I'm saying I don't think this is a fad. At the same time, it takes literally 2 hours to download an image.
Right.
Right. It was crazy. It would come in one line at a
Yes.
time. A complete
baby.
image. It was crazy.
Well, I was in 1st grade when we first got our first computer, and we had dial-up internet. I remember images like scanning across, loading.
Yeah.
But it was off to the races for me at that point. That's when I really started the whole.
Look at you now.
Yep, look at me now.
You literally conceived your own computer. I watched him do it in my kitchen.
Scott says, me, my Huffy, and my dog. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I did. I remember I used to rip it up on a bicycle around the neighborhood too. There was nothing better than bikes. Do kids even still like bikes? Are we old men too, by the way, for having this conversation?
Yeah. Okay.
Sure, yeah,
Fine.
sure.
Okay. Fine. It's absolutely okay.
I don't care. I'll embrace it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't remember. I saw a comment a while ago I was going to bring up, but something about the best part about the 80s and 90s or 70s and 80s was there no cameras.
Oh yeah.
So like there was no evidence of all the shit we were doing.
Get away with it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you could get away with a lot more.
Keep your mouth shut, and then, like, we're just good.
Scott says weed sucked back then, but who cared?
Someone picks up the phone and kills the internet. Yeah. I do remember that happening. Like, I remember my neighbors. Our internet wasn't set up that way. And I remember you go over to their house, and we'd be like doing something, and someone would be on the computer, and the phone would ring, and his dad would yell from the back room, like, "Get off the phone!" They were just yelling at each other over it. I loved it.
I remember that.
Yeah. The TV would cut off.
I didn't have that issue.
Yeah, the TV would pop up a thing that said XYZ number is calling you, and then you couldn't watch your show.
Wow.
I remember that. I think they were early on into like the dish, like internet TV type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nostalgia.
Yeah.
Matt Perry said, "Dad used the belt in the 60s and 70s and think that worked better than today's discipline." Well, I'll tell you this: I grew up in the 90s and I got my ass whooped all the time. So I don't think we definitely hadn't weaned off ass whoopings in my house.
I remember a belt whooping I got when I was like 4 years old, like it was last week.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff leaves
Well,
a
I
mark.
don't think the
Stacy used to really swing the old belt around. Like, it was no joke. Like, it got to the point too where my mom would try to whip my ass. And I remember I told her, when they still talk about it to this day, I told her one time, like, this is This is amateur hour.
I laughed at my mom once.
Well, that's what I
I
did.
laughed at my mom
I
once.
laughed at my mom, and then my dad got home.
Yeah.
I remember that was one of the worst ass beatings of my life.
Yes.
Which I needed my
Same.
ass whooped. I mean, I'm not,
I deserved
I'm
it.
not shitting on my dad or anything, but like, I was deserving.
You had it.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on.
oh yeah. I don't know if you guys knew or not, but I was a fucking mischievous ass little kid.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, he was whooping that ass on the regular.
And they're talking about the YZ125 and the YZ100. Hell yeah, little Kawasaki dirt bike.
Yeah. Dirt bikes were cool. I was always a four-wheeler guy. My dad knew I'd probably snap my neck on a dirt bike, so I had a four-wheeler. I don't know that was any safer because it was like a false sense of security on a four-wheeler.
I had three-wheelers.
Really tear it up on that.
I had three-wheelers up until like I was 14.
My first
dirt bikes.
off-road vehicle I was on was a three-wheeler. All we had was three-wheelers when I was young.
NCS, we're not gonna call you a weirdo, man.
Why would we do that?
Thanks for the other. Thanks
Oh,
for the.
please,
thanks
just
for the
call
20.
me a weirdo.
Winsong says, now a girl's big hair has been replaced by shaved heads. The mullet with a man bun and the crazy clothes by britches hanging off the backside. I like that.
Damn
That was
straight.
Great.
Pretty
was a
pretty
great-
accurate right there.
That was a great little rant. I like it. Man, three-wheelers are crazy. Paul McKinley says, again, can I get heirloom corn?
Oh, sorry, brother.
The Russian.
Sorry.
What does he mean?
Can I get heirloom corn underground?
Ungrounded.
Ungrounded.
And then he said,
yeah.
the Russian Jew.
Now,
What does that mean?
It's
I
not
have
the
no
first
idea what
time.
that means.
It's
Why
not the
is he
first
saying
time.
that?
Why do you say that?
Yeah, why are you saying that?
Why have you said it more than once?
The first half of your sentence was completely reasonable. And
He
then
said it a week or two
the
ago.
last tag.
So we order our heirloom corn already ground, but we can order it kernel.
Yeah.
So Paul, if you want to just give us a call up here at the shop, we can get you some kerneled corn in the heirloom varieties.
Joe Parks asked, do we check our thermostat when running mash?
When running mash, not unless. So when running the still, I don't usually check it, and except at the beginning when we're kind of heating up.
Gauge how much
just to
time we
kinda-
got left before we
just
start
kind of
running
keep an eye on it when we're heating up. But once we start dripping, I don't ever pay attention to the thermometers.
Tried some potion tonight. I gotta say,
Hoyton.
Huh?
It's a whiskey.
Hoyton?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of it. The store-bought whiskey?
It's Irish. I think it's Irish. Am I correct? Someone tell me.
I'm gonna have to mix that up.
Poteen. I'm not sure how to pronounce it either, but I think it might be Poteen. If the Duke is still lurking, he'll jump in here on that one.
Hoyton.
But I think he's probably gone to bed by now.
Joe, I knew full well what you were doing. She said, I'm just getting you on track.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Too much nostalgia. One last bit of nostalgia. You know what my
Okay.
grandpa told me?
Is that right, Joe?
You know what my grandpa told me he used to do for fun as a child? I'll never forget this.
Throw rocks?
No, but probably. But I said, I remember I was younger. I was like a little kid when we were having this conversation. I remember to this day. We were talking about something I was doing, yada yada, or bouncing on the trampoline, or just got a trampoline or something. And I remember asking him, like, what'd you do for fun when you were like my age? And he said, well, we found a couple ping pong paddles down by the landfill. And we would take the ping pong paddles, me and my buddy, and we would run around and find wasp nests, and we would hit the wasp nests with the ping pong paddle and run away from them, hitting them with a paddle. And he said we were doing that one day, and we hopped in an old like abandoned truck like somewhere outside of town, and we got in there to get away from the wasps, and there was another wasp nest under the seat of that old truck. And he said, yeah, I thought we were gonna die. And and then I remember he went like this, and he just kept driving. We were going down the road, and I was like,
And that was the end of the story.
I was like, that was what you did for fun? Almost
what
die?
Here's what I took from that story. as just an example of generational how things evolve, right? Like my childhood was way different. It was different than y'all's childhood.
This is a kid in the 40s.
Like, yeah, my parents, of all the things they would not care that I did, go hang out at the landfill, not one of the things they would have been like, yeah, just
cool with.
What'd you do today? I was hanging out at the landfill. That would have been not a thing I would have been allowed to do.
Yeah. Right.
Found some, some ping pong paddles, and been swatting wasps all day.
Yeah. That's what he used as like his example of like what they did for fun as kids, and I was like,
first thing that came to mind.
We grew up different. Oh man. Scott Brown says, hopefully I'll have some red corn this week, and the apples are sitting out waiting to be chopped up. My month-long break is almost over.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, man.
Winsong is saying, don't write words that'll get us in trouble. I'm not sure what she's referring to because she probably
Look at that.
nixed 86 something.
It's hot in here.
Look at that, Jesus.
I don't know, some people are super self-conscious about their, like, if they've got sweaty pits or something.
Yeah.
It's like I wear deodorant and, like, I just sweat, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why people are so weird, because I'll do it to my wife hates it. We'll be in public somewhere where I shouldn't be doing that, and I'm like, hey, am I sweating? And I'm very clearly sweating. Like,
Yeah.
she hates it.
We grew up with the FAFO rules. Yeah.
What's FAFO rules?
F around and find out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I am familiar.
Just hadn't heard it used as an acronym, huh?
No. Sometimes one of those will hit me, and it takes me a minute to figure out what it is, and then other times I'm astounded by the fact that I just am able to read it out, having not, like, don't really know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
most of them are. I don't know what most of them are. Just, I'm lost on a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, guys, this last jar is about to come off here. I guess we can pull it down and get a proof on it. I'll shut the still down. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now.
NCS Play says you boys should open up the panel for questions. I love that idea. And again, thank you for the donation. That's awesome, brother. But we don't really have the ability to do that at the moment. We are getting set up where we're going to be doing remote interviews where we can have people on the show. But, we don't use like a StreamYard or something like that. This is... Adam has kind of cobbled our entire show together through like OBS.
Yeah, this is OG OBS. We'll be
Old school OBS.
yeah, like the original one. So we'll be, but I've got a good lead on a call-in show software, so I'm working on that now.
Yeah, are we about ready to sign off? Is that what you were sitting?
Let's get a proof on this. Let's see.
We're already getting some guesses. 184, 189, 187.
Let's see what that
Jar
one
number
came
6.
off to. Okay, you've got that. That's shut off.
A little more.
A little more.
There we go. Give you guys a little bubble check here. Big old beads on there.
Big. I'd imagine it's following suit right in line with the other ones.
If you guessed one, it's 186, 187, or 188. You're probably right on the money. I didn't watch him proof it down, but
Pardon me. I don't know how loud that
it
was
down.
in the microphone.
get a proof on it.
Jar number 6 came out at 189.
Pretty consistent.
Dang, did Trickster get that again? That's his third one. I think he did.
Yeah.
Ban him from future guests of proof giveaways.
Yeah.
You're barred, bub. Well, 8 p.m. here. Can't say how much Cyrus and I both appreciate you all being here with us for the show. We had a really good time. We're going to continue this run in the morning. If we get up and around early enough before the Rise and Shine, the members only, maybe it's possible that we could have that at least heating up or running while we're doing the Rise and Shine in the morning, get that knocked out. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it and had a great time. Thanks for everyone asking questions and giving us some stuff to talk about. Cyrus, anything in closing?
That's it. You said it all.
All right. Well, we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.